I need to send something to you before we have a full discussion on this. I have the live tweeted thread about all the info on Diablo 4 today.
As you can hear, everybody, the iconic soundtrack of Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction. And that can mean only one thing. It's time for that vidcast podcast that you've all been waiting for. It's the craftchest GunToad podcast of the apocalypse. Well, we're going to be theorizing.
Game's not out yet. We can't theory craft. What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. D4 builder. All right, let's start this out. So what's happening?
So I posted that link in the Diablo chat in your Discord.
Diablo 1, 2, 3. Okay.
If we scroll all the way down to... where is it? 10 hours ago.
Got you.
You see the picture of Lilith
Yep.
and the logo?
Uh-huh.
We can basically start from there and kind of go up the list to the latest updates. So where does it actually start? Okay, so it starts 9 hours ago, which says... So this is all the info that is currently known of Diablo 4.
Yep. Are you recording, by the way, or are you just going to have me record this?
I'll just have you record it.
All right.
Fine. So Diablo 4 takes place decades after Diablo 3.
Decades after.
Yep.
Okay, so that right there kind of answers a question that I had of the dude doing the voiceover, that one clown talking about brother over the tombstone. And I was wondering, I was like, they keep showing that tombstone. Is that Deckard Cain?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking...
It has to be at this point, right?
Right.
I would assume so. I don't know who that dude is.
I don't know, but...
They do have the gameplay trailer also in this list, so...
Which I watched both.
Yeah.
You got Haku, and you got the dude from WoW, and...
So, Heaven's Gates are closed. Makes sense, given the end of Diablo 3. Sanctuary is shattered. Also kind of makes sense after Diablo 3. This is where Lilith comes in, of course. She knows how to manipulate humans. This leads me to believe that maybe they're going to put in some book lore from the books, which would be pretty good.
But the books were pre-Diablo, right?
They were 3,000 years before Diablo 1.
All right, so this is a resummoning of Lilith then.
Yeah, no, she got killed by Odyssean.
Right, Odyssean...
Murdered the shit out of her.
Right. Because he took care of, what's his name, Lucian and Lilith.
Yeah. Lilith is the mother of the Nephilim. Yep. Mephisto's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Non-linear campaign.
And her brother's name was Lucian.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a non-linear campaign. Basically, from my understanding, is they learned their lesson about how many people liked adventure mode in D3, and they're going to try and do it kind of like that. 5 regions, 5 classes, 3 of which are revealed already. I'm going to guess one of the other ones is going to be assassin, and then they're got to have some strength class. So
probably something along the lines of
Amazon, because there is no Dex class, and they're trying to appeal to the D2 people.
Okay, so
it's probably an Amazon.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because if they were going to go strength, it would be something more lines along of a monk again.
Yeah. Because they have the druid and the sorceress are both magic. The barbarian strength. So they need a dexterity class, and then the 5th class I'm not sure on. It could basically be anything at this point. I think it'll be an Amazon.
Well, what about a holy class? They don't have a.
They could bring back the Pally. I mean,
I
if they
mean,
brought
they
back the Pally, a lot of D2 people would be happy.
being that the Herodrum had the experience to defeat the three prime evils to begin with, you would think maybe they would bring back like a paladin class, like a true paladin class, or even a Herodrum priest.
Well, if it takes place decades after, it would have to be the Crusaders, because the Crusaders were the next step. They're
Yeah.
what the Paladin Order formed into, was the Crusaders.
Gotcha.
So if it was going to be a holy class, it would be the Crusader,
I got you.
I would imagine. Unless they make some new class. The 5th class could be a new class. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you also got to take in my Necromancer, too.
Oh, yeah. Necromancer.
So, yeah. 5 classes. It's going to be dark, but whatever. I don't really care about that. It's not what I care about.
No.
They're very much taking from D2. Heroes speak for themselves. So this is where they started getting into some of the mechanics. So the arsenal system is what the barbarian has now. You have 4 weapon slots. One-handed and two-handed. So I'm going to assume he can dual wield two two-handers. Two two-handed swords like he used to.
Would make sense.
As well as probably have a two-handed axe or whatever else. He can assign specific weapons to specific skills. Still using Fury. There's a lot of stuff that I watched from them showing off footage about. And there's a bunch of other people that are streaming the demo right now. And there's a lot of effects. The items, like the actual physical appearance of the items in your inventory, just straight up look like D3. Now all that could change. Just the one takeaway I got from all this footage is that this is early in development for sure. Everything is very rough, and it does not have that Blizzard polish that Blizzard does.
Got you.
So,
Or if they're going, D2 style, they don't have to have a whole lot of polish on it. You could look at it that way, because like if they want to go back to their roots, what they kept on saying, they could keep it like it is and make it a lot more simple to develop. You could look at it either way. I mean, it just depends on, how fast they want to get out a good game, because Blizzard's not going to release it until it's ready.
yeah.
That's the one thing you talk all the stuff that we could take out of what they've done here in the past couple of years, but the one thing they have done is not release something until it's ready. Period.
Yeah. It leads to me to believe that it is very early in development, basically on the stuff that's higher up on this little timeline. So we got Leap, Warcry, and Cleave, which, I mean, yeah, what are you going to do? Show off a barbarian? There you go.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the Druid. They took out all the fire, and they replaced it with Earth and Storm, which is fine. I don't really care. Still has the ravens, the vines, and the wolves. I don't know if they didn't mention Oak Sage, but they did mention the vine pets for sure. So the seamless shape-shifting, they showed that off. Basically, you can combo into changing forms.
Yeah, from the bear and back into.
Yeah, werebear and werewolf are back. Summons lightning and hurricanes. Yep, that seems about right. Now, this does go on to the sorceress, and from what I'm seeing, is that I don't think she is going to get lightning as a tree. I think she just has a big ultimate that is lightning, because that was the only lightning skill that they showed off. And the druid is the one that has lightning now. So that's going to lead me to believe that it's basically fire and ice is the sorceress's main stick. I don't know, but that's what it seemed like to me.
It kind of did look like that, yes.
Yeah. So Blizzard and Firewall going up a little bit. Different levels of... Oh, yeah. So this is where the character customization comes in, which I'm all for. Anytime a game has character customization, I'm for it. That's good. They showed up concept art of what they want, the varying stuff, and it runs the gambit from like looking like the original D2 barbarian, all the way to the old man D3 barbarian, and everything in between, basically. And that's for every class, male
Even
and female.
even Haku.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you, that dude is Haku, man. I was waiting on him to bust out with a Talamoana warrior whenever I saw that gameplay footage. I was like, what is this? Like, they are straight ripping from PoE.
Skill trees confirmed. They showed that off in the little demo that they did. They're, from what they showed off with the sorceress, it went into 3 branches on the page that they were on, and it did look like D2 where they were level based to unlock them.
Yeah.
So that's coming back. Skill ranks and rune words. They did show off rune words. Or they showed off runes. They didn't show off a rune word, but runes are back. They work the same way they did in D2. You slot them into armor and shit.
Uh-oh, Enigma.
Yeah, they said that they're gonna kind of get away from rune words being as broken as they were in D2.
But that's what made them. That's what made them so great. They were hard to find. You know,
well, they were hard to find early on, and then later as the season went, they weren't.
everybody got their bots up.
Well, yeah, exactly. They said that their game playing with rune words is going to be different than what it was in D2. That's all they said. They didn't say anything else other than that, so we don't actually know what that means. Let's see. Talking about D4 not being a non-linear game. It'll be open from the ground up. This sounds a lot like what they were planning Diablo 3 to originally be at the very beginning of D3's development. Back when there was still Blizzard North and they were developing it, they wanted D3 to be an MMO. I don't know if you remember that, but basically like an open area.
Right. I do remember. I mean, there was all kind of things that got scrapped out of D3. All kinds of things. I was like, because we got excited. Like, this can't be. If they do this, what?
Yeah. Social hubs, so basically a lot of the towns will be where you can just get together with people. It's sounding more MMO-y, but at the same time, it's also sounding like what the original plan for Diablo 3 was going to be. Not the D3 we're playing. That's not what we're talking about.
Right, the original.
The Blizzard North Diablo 3 that they were planning. There's world events. This all sounds pretty standard for a modern social game, basically. It does say, scrolling up a little bit more, there are 8 people fighting one boss.
Where are you at right now?
That. 8 hours, or still 9 hours ago.
Oh, okay, you're still down there. I scrolled up a little bit too far. Okay,
November 4th, 4 p.m. There's like a little bracket cut off where I am. You can play solo, so if you want to do that. There are PvP enabled areas, which is interesting to me. And from what I was hearing them say is that you can opt in to be into PvP. So that means open world PvP.
So, like, as in, I wonder what they mean, like, you can opt in for it at character creation or at any time?
I think what that means is that there's going to be designated areas in the game where if you want PvP, you're automatically going to be assigned to PvP.
Gotcha. Kind of like Albion, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, WoW did it too. If you
And WoW, yeah. I mean, I couldn't, honestly, I couldn't tell you about that because I never played it.
Waypoints are still in the game. They showed off mounts, which, big surprise, of course they're going to fucking put something like that in. You can customize them, blah, blah, blah. The mounts affect gameplay, of course they do, because they make you move faster. There's apparently dismount abilities, so from what I saw is the
horse running off to the,
The sorceress gets like an ice dash off the horse, and the barbarian basically leaps off of their horse and slams into the ground. Then its dungeons are fully randomized, that's nothing amazing or new. We knew that. There's gonna be hell, big surprise. Um, new monsters, yeah. Less emphasis on sets than Diablo 3. This is the big one. This says slightly less, but I watched that part of the stream where they talked about it. They said they did not want sets to be the main thing in this game. So that was not slightly, they said. They just said that they did not want sets to be the be all end all. Which, thank fucking God.
Yeah, it should be rune words. If you're going to go back to the roots, it should be the rune words.
Well, they were basically
Uniques.
saying that, yeah, they were saying that the legendary items are going to be the build changers, basically.
Sandstorm
they did-
trek boots.
I was watching Riker stream it, and the guy mentioned a new tier of items, and he said they hadn't talked about it yet. Hold on. He said they were called mystic items. And mystic items, you can only wear one of them, or have one of them. But they have 4 legendary properties to them. So, they're apparently like Uber items.
Huh.
Like, even more legendary than legendary, I guess. Let's see. And yeah, not coming out soon, not even Blizzard soon. These 2 things they actually said, which means that's why I think that this is very early in development. This game ain't coming out for another 3 years.
This is damage control, is what this is.
Yep.
From all the way to last BlizzCon.
This game ain't coming out for 3 years at the very least.
So basically, it's worse, really, than Diablo 3 in a way. It seems like we waited about a good 2 years after the splash. I still remember that splash.
I still had the Diablo 3 beta installed on my old computer.
What?
Yeah. More than likely, what's going to happen is next year, we're going to get a beta. And that's going to basically be it. It's probably going to be a little bit more in-depth than the demo they're showing off. But yeah, we're probably going to get a beta next year. So scrolling up past this giant-ass picture, that doesn't matter. They're talking about the QA. All roads in Sanctuary lead to hell. That's the up there now. Difficulty in scaling. Scaling is important as they want to feel the power of the new upgrades. It's tough to balance. Yeah. D2 was more hardcore. D3. This says D3 was not casual. D3 was one of the most casual fucking things we ever played.
Ever.
What is D4 going to be? It's important then to get players from both sets of people. This world is so large. There's a lot of different areas of difficulty. They're talking about crossplay for PC and consoles. They're gonna fucking do crossplay. I can guarantee goddamn to you.
Notice they did not mention mobile.
Funny enough, like 5 hours after all the D4 stuff came on, they farted out a Diablo Immortal update trailer on their channel.
Oh, did they?
They lightly pushed it out and were like, all right, no, we're going away.
Gentle reminder, everyone. Gentle reminder. Immortal still exists.
So there's going to be controller support on PC, which is interesting to me. It's going to be online all the time. You got to expect that for games nowadays. Talking about more on the end game tomorrow.
You still at a 6-hour spot?
Yeah.
Because yours isn't correlating 100% with mine. I don't know why.
Weird. I'm on the one thing is Key Dungeon inspired by Greater Rifts.
Okay, yeah. That's about where I was. I was just going back and forth through there. So, yeah.
Yeah. You can obtain keys in in-game that you can upgrade, then add affixes to the dungeon. So, like maps, That's what that sounds like?
Yeah, or the kind of see. Here's the thought I got because we didn't even talk about this. I was letting this go over the keynotes here. One thing that I really was gathering, and the first thing that struck me, and I don't know if they meant to do this with everybody, but whenever I watched the cinematic like 5 times just to catch little thing at work. I was watching on my phone, came home watching on the PC and looking at, catching things like the tombstone and who is that guy, like the man that grabbed Lilith's hand at the end of it. Did they say his name?
No.
Because I don't know who Lilith is mother to. See, they really don't.
Lilith is the mother to all Nephilim.
So
she's the one that we gave birth to basically everyone on Sanctuary.
All right. So who is the guy that ultimately calls for the priest to do the summoning ritual? Is he a Nephilim? Nephilim?
So everyone on Sanctuary is descended from the Nephilim. The Nephilim were a race that was born from Lilith that then made families and had children and eventually became the humans.
Right. But that guy, that guy's specific though. In that trailer.
That was probably some fucking cultist dude, basically. I'm gonna imagine probably a boss we're gonna fight later in the game. It was not Anarius, I'll tell you that much. That's not Anarius at all.
No.
I know that. Anarius is dead. I mean, so was Lilith, but Anarius is an angel. He's not. Anarius would never be caught dead looking like that.
Yeah.
He's very full of himself. He's like super narcissistic in the books. So, yeah.
All right. So anyway, go back to this, and then I'll finish up on that later. There's plenty of time for that.
So yeah, it looks like these keys are basically like maps. I'm getting the impression of that.
Oh, I didn't finish that thought though. The keys reminded me of the red portals that we took to gather up on the body parts for the actual Ubertrist. That's what I was going to say right there. That's what I meant. Because it's interesting that they threw those keys in the mix, because the first thing I thought of the key of hate, key of terror, key of destruction, and how those could affect, like you said, like doing kind of like a map system on there. But I just find how they are pulling from Diablo 2. That is a direct, that influence. That has to be an influence because the keys were a thing.
So here's the thing that's got me wondering: Are they gonna take a page out of PoE and make currency? Because trading is gonna be in the game,
right? Which is right here.
And this says that you can add affixes to dungeons. What do you use to add those? They don't specify. Is it gonna be the cube? Is it gonna be runes? They don't actually specify what it's gonna be.
And even if it is the cube, you still have to have a recipe for it. So that kind of does make you think that they are going to add some type of currencies to it.
Like, are they adding the gems back? Is it going to be gems and runes? Or is it going to be, like, are they adding currency? Are they actually going to try and fight PoE with their currency system and try and do it like that?
Yeah.
Because they said trading's back, so...
Yeah. And I hope they go back to the type of old school BattleNet.
Yeah.
The original BattleNet.
Randomization will be legendaries and rune words. Are they going to be different? D4 refines. D3 itemization legendaries are equal or greater to power. D3. So yeah, the legendaries are way better. Sets are at a lower level that help give you a launching pad into the class. So that's what they're doing with sets.
Yeah, so basically you're going to have captains and Kligals and shit like that, yeah.
Saigons might come back.
Saigons.
Still figuring out trading. They want to get items by playing the game, so no auction house. They already, okay.
Which would still, that goes back to what I just said. It's a serious thing. The thing that made Diablo 2 great, and if they're going back to the roots like they say they are, that's one thing that made Diablo 2 great, is that the fact that the trading system was very social, is very social. That you would make, all for Ja. You make a game, somebody joins it, you see what they got. Or, is for Lim or something like, just the simple trades, Ja for Burr.
I have a feeling they're going to take notes from what the auction house did, and they're going to try and integrate it maybe into like posting a bulletin or posting trades on a trading.
Like PoE does, basically.
Yeah, but have it be in-game, because Blizzard's not going to make you go to a third-party fucking site.
Not if they don't have a hand in it, no.
Yeah. Let's see. Components are freely tradable. Components. Are freely tradable.
See, here we go.
A very specific word.
Components. Which kind of slash or, asterisk currency. Modifiers.
This is also important. More powerful items bind on trade. Most powerful items bind on pickup. So it sounds like this is going towards a currency market to me. Because if you can't trade the most powerful items, and if the quote-unquote more powerful items are bind on trade, what are you going to trade? You're going to trade runes, and you're going to trade whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
So this might go back to a D2 rune market, which I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, that was, especially, and we're not going to get it, but it would be so amazing if they would actually bring back the runes from Diablo 2. Because
there was an ith, and there was a eth rune that was in that dude's inventory. So
okay, because that right there would simplify, and dude, you would hit if you did that, because that's like our own little gaming currency. Like, there's not a person who ever has played Diablo 2 that for any length of time that doesn't know the value of every single rune. You may not be able to name them all right this minute, but when somebody says, what's a raw rune worth? What's an ist rune worth? What is a Zod rune worth? And that's one thing that would actually make this game old generation and new generation friendly, because I don't know if they did any type of analytics or any type of, analysis on who's playing what, but Diablo is one of those games where you might have a 6-year-old playing, or you might have somebody like me, old ass ancient 68-year-old person playing. It's that type of, and I've known old people in their 60s and 70s that played Diablo 2 back in the day. That was their jam. So, and my point to it is that they did bring back, and you said that you did see it in there. I didn't look at it that close. I still got to go back and look for little things here and there and break it down.
They showed the runes off in the, not any of the showcasing, but they showed it off in they had basically a panel afterwards.
I got you.
Ceremony, and that's where they showed all that.
Okay, and because I didn't see it in the trailer, and I was trying to look on the walls and what have you for little markings and what have you. But point being is, and then I'll let you move on, is that would be something right there that everybody could get around, like day one, is the value of runes. And if the formulas, like say they go back to the old crafting system in the cube where you took, a chip topaz or a perfect ruby and a certain rune and threw it in there with the circlet, and you had a chance to craft something awesome with the modifiers on it and all that, or something crappy. So that would be a good way for everybody to know the value of a $20 bill, basically, is what I mean.
Yeah. So yeah.
Put 40 PGMs for ist. Remember that?
Yep. Loot is individual, which that's just the same thing from D3. Still very early about crafting systems.
Which is kind of what I'm touching on right now.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure it out. So, how will PvP be balanced? PvP was decided on from the start, so the philosophy on skills has changed. Okay. Skills are bound to classes, but legendaries can borrow from other classes. Oh, that's fine. That's what I expected. Okay, no respecking. That is interesting. Respecking, how is it approached? You can level up skills, which are permanent choices. You can get skill points from tomes in the game. Talents are in a tree. Okay. So talents and skills are different, is from what I'm getting from this. So you can level up skills, which are permanent choices. So leveling up the individual skills is permanent. You can get skill points from tomes in the game. Talents are in a tree, and they are respecable.
But the tomes are not, which kind of stands to reason.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd that they would actually go by that rather than level up, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, we don't even know if stats are going to be a thing that you have to worry about.
Right.
Legacy, okay, so what are the things you've learned from D3 that you wanted to do or didn't want to do in D4? Legacy is important to Diablo 4, Gothic Horror from Diablo 1, fast-paced gameplay from D3, that's fair. I can't say the best thing about Diablo 3 is it does feel fucking great to kill shit, so... Have you worked on chaining abilities either with the same class or different party members to combo effects? Nothing to announce on that. Bosses have a stagger system that fills up with CC. Once it fills up, they're stunned and have other things that occur during that phase. Okay. Example given, you can break off monsters' parts. They'll be weaker later. That sounds like fucking Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter? What? The Monster Hunter Inc.? What is that? So there's, I guess, balls parts might be part of recipes. There's your currency. That would be your currency right there. Go farm bosses.
Literally Monster Hunter. Literally fucking Monster Hunter.
Yep.
Looking back on Diablo 3, each class could kill very quickly. The demo was much slower, and there was a dodge mechanic. I didn't know that, actually. I didn't know there was an actual mechanic to dodge.
Uh-oh. Dark rolls.
Will D4 get that fast or no? Slightly slower pacing is by design. Okay. Yeah. World events. Could you give it more information? World event turns, you get notified and travel to the place. It's seamless transition. Yeah, okay. It's the same world shit as any other fucking world event in the game. What are plans for playing with lower or higher level players? That's where we're getting to power leveling shit. World will match the level of the party leader. That's all they said. Okay. What's your philosophy on items that buff one specific skill to hell, like in D3? There are tons of legendaries that modify skills, more of modification than pure power-up. Okay. Treasure goblins and secret levels. Yes and yes. So both of those are back, which I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Treasure goblins.
Treasure goblin. Yeah. Are rares going to be useful, or are they going to be, are they not going to be relevant in game? They like the idea of the different tiers of magic than rare legendaries. Okay, so
blue, yellow, gold.
Yeah.
And then the mythic, which is probably going to be purple or red. So I'm surprised there's not more questions about the mythic in here. Maybe there is up later on in this little...
Yeah. What happened to the Black Soul Stone? That's an important question.
It is an
We saw Duriel is back. Anyone else coming? Duriel is back, so we may see some others too. They completely blew over that fucking Black Soulstone question.
Yeah, they did. What? I mean, what is that?
Yeah. Will the current? Oh God. Will the leveling process be more like D3 or D2? Current level cap is 40, but may change. You probably still want to reach max level and then keep playing. 40, huh?
How hard? So how? Yeah, how hard is 40 to get? I mean, my gosh.
I mean, at the end of the day, that actually doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess because it's all going to
be 90 with just replacing the 4 with a 9. It's
yeah, true. Because look at reading down below, they're talking about you're going to get skills from tomes and talents are changeable. It's kind of like it doesn't matter because if you just find the tomes, there's a skill point. It doesn't matter what level you are. So I can kind of get it.
Yeah, they're talking about the new engine, blah 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 blah. No elective mode needed. That's fine. That's what I expected. They got rid of that shit. Can you expand on runes? There are suffix and affix runes. Oh, so that's
that would be that's the same. That's the same.
Is that the same?
Yes, that's the way that's the way it works on there. I mean, it's not something that we like said. Oh man, I need this L rune because it's an affix. But yeah, they work the same way. That's the whole point of what they actually did to make the overall rune word is what their attributes were for that rune. So, I mean, it's probably going to be different. We know it's going to be different, but that's basically the same thing. Like I couldn't tell you what the attributes of every rune is, but I know that when you read runes from the old rune list from D2, they all had their own attributes to them. So,
yeah. Have you talked about monetization, microtransaction? Nothing to announce yet, but planned for a base game, then expansions later. That makes sense. Nothing to announce yet about. Will there be gems/jewels? Gems and jewels go into the same socket as runes, so that just confirms gems and jewels.
There you go.
Confirmed it. There you go.
Yeah.
What's the philosophy on social features? There will be clans. You can trade via guild bank. Oh shit, we're gonna have to make our DQ guild.
I know, we gotta have that. So that's something. That's something David Brevik wanted to actually put into D2, but there was not enough time because they were forcing them to push it out.
Still evolving on the potion system.
They should just go back to the old potion system. Why not?
So that's currently everything that they've talked about today. They're going to be doing... Tomorrow they said that they're doing an actual in-depth mechanic talk about the design and stuff. So that's probably where we'll learn more about the runes and everything else, I'm going to imagine.
Yeah, I knew I was right. And then the last post 3 hours ago, can't wait to Ja Burr ith some armor. It's Ja ith Burr. Get it right. This is Reddit. I can flame him, right? It's Ja ith Burr.
I'm pretty sure that there's already been like people have been actually.
Well, actually, yes. let me educate you, young one.
Yeah. So that's currently everything that's known. So far, I'll give my impressions. I'm not sold. I'm gonna be honest. I'm really not sold on the game yet. They're gonna have to win me over really hard, cause you can say dark gothic shit and show all the most horrible shit in the world to me, but like if the game ain't good, It's not gonna matter how cool it looks.
Right. Especially, they come out with this multi-million-dollar, gameplay trailer, and then they also have the actual D4 trailer, and they do not spare. They never have spared any expense on making their trailers be the best trailers on the planet ever. And that's good for luring people in, but I totally agree. It's a good concept. There's a lot of good ideas. I mean, you do have, which I'm sure there's going to be people that, have like just stuck with the game. That's all they've streamed. That's how they've made their living. Like Riker and who's the other clown from Australia or New Zealand or whatever is that from? Who's that other dude?
Oh, Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn. And people like that who just like have no life and, just been so far up Blizzard for the past years and years that they're going to be giving their input to it. And quite honestly, I think that that's a good thing, especially on Riker, because I don't watch Riker. I've disagreed with a lot of things over the past years that he's come out with, a lot of things, because not everybody, I mean, everybody has their own way of what they think things should be, especially when it was with Diablo 3. There was a lot of bullshit that I didn't like that he put out as far as agreeing with him. But as far as Diablo 2, he does know that. He also has who's that other dude? Extimus, I think it is. Is it Extimus? He's an old schooler from back around 2009 days. He's a youngster compared to us, but he's very knowledgeable of the game also. Now, whether he's going to be, I very seriously doubt he even went to BlizzCon. But these guys that actually got on these panels, they should, take the old school ideas from the community, which I'm sure they will, and discuss it and refine it. And
I watched a little bit of Riker. He brought up charms. That was one of the first things he asked. He's like, "Well, what do you think about charms?" He's like, the guy was like, "Well, the problem with charms was inventory." And it's like, yes, inventory
exactly.
Charms was dumb. He's like, "We're still trying to think. We're trying." We like the idea of charms, but having them be an inventory thing is something they don't want. And then Riker reminded me, because he said that as a response, he's like, well, maybe something like what they were planning to do with D3 was going to be a talisman system. And basically you had a talisman that you could change I think it was something about it that would basically act as charms. And they were like, oh yeah, well, the guy was like, yeah, I totally forgot about that. That's a good idea. We'll talk to it about the team next week and stuff like that. So
even the development team, the panel forgot. He brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's things like that would be very beneficial for them to actually listen to and act on.
Because here's the thing, all right? ExileCon's in 2 weeks. 4.0's fucking coming. They've had a year to polish 4.0.
Yep.
Because they were going to show it off last year, because D4 was supposed to come out last year.
Right.
And that didn't happen. And now that finally Diablo 4 has come out, they can finally take their fucking swing.
Right.
And they've had a year.
A whole year.
So it's gonna... I'm gonna be honest, I'm more excited to see what they announce than this announcement. I knew Diablo 4 was gonna be a thing. It was the least kept secret, like, ever.
Right.
Like, yeah, Diablo 4 is coming. I know it's coming. I don't really care what it looks like. I care what it plays like and how the mechanics are and how long it's going to keep me playing the fucking game.
Right.
I don't care that it's the darkest, most gothic, ooh, all there's blood and guts, and we have to put these warnings in front of the... Like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'll play a fucking unicorn... happy fairy game if it's a damn good ARPG. I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. That whole thing seemed like they were super pandering, basically. That they were just like, hey, look at all this. Look, it's all dark and gothic like Diablo.
Yeah, the guy
come on.
talking about it kept on bringing that up. I was like, the thing is, you can't take forever with it. See, that's the one falter that companies, Blizzard even, and I know Blizzard doesn't release till it's ready, but that's one thing is that these days especially, people are begging for stuff. Like, there are tons of games coming out, but none that have the they don't just keep you wanting to play the game. You play it for, maybe 2 or 3 months and then you're done. It's kind of like you playing Destiny 2 right now. That's kind of like a filler while you're waiting on 4.0. And because basically when 4.0 comes out, everybody's going to be playing that. That's kind of like what I'm waiting on. We've talked about this months ago. Last year we talked about this. About how, 4.0 is going to just revolutionize everything that Path of Exile's ever come up with. And when did you say ExileCon is?
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now. So we'll have that to look forward to. And like you said, I'm really looking more forward to that than I am for Diablo 4. It's especially if it's hashtag coming soon in 2030.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Diablo, and this is weird to say, Diablo has everything to prove to me.
Yes.
Path of Exile has nothing really to prove to me.
Yes, and especially since it can only get better.
GGG's track record has been so insane.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if you like the league or not. Every 3 months we get content, and it's free, and it's always robust, and it's these neat ideas that adds these new things to what an ARPG can be. Every 3 months.
Right. Even tower defense.
It has always been, for the good or bad, it has at least been something new and interesting.
Hey, and they've had some epic leagues. I mean, there's been some to where, I wish I had more time to play the leagues. There's been, I feel there's several of them. You and I are just like, oh my God, I can't get off of here. And then
Delve is incredible.
Right.
Delve was incredible.
When they added Delve to it, I was kind of like, whatever about Delve at first, and then once I understood the why and the what you could get from Delve, then it started making sense. It's like, dude, I want to do that. I need some more soul fight, but the whole soul fight gate that happened.
Before I stopped playing this last league, before I stopped playing Blight, it was like, all I want to do is I just want to map, get soul fight, and Delve. That's all I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to do Blight right now. I did a bunch of Blight. Blight's fun. I did a bunch of Blighted maps. They're cool. They're really interesting, intense. I just want to Delve. Delve's amazing.
And
Delve is one of the best things they've ever done in that game.
And I know everybody were tangenting off into Path of Exile, but that's all right because it's all relative.
These are the two juggernauts. You have to talk about them right now. Like, there's no other. You can like Grim Dawn, whatever. It's not about those. This is about the two big boys, which is Path of Exile and Diablo.
One of them started in the garage, and the other one started from the brainchild of David Brevik, the creator.
And it's just one of those things where, like I said, Diablo has every fucking thing to prove to me.
They do, because
I am not going to put on my nostalgia goggles. I am not going to be like, oh my god, it's this thing from D2. Fuck you. You need to impress me. I have been getting impressed by GGG. She's been this supermodel over here that is just giving me everything I want, and has been giving me everything I want for the past like 2 or 3 years, 4 years, whatever, nonstop, all the time. It's just, she just keeps getting more beautiful, and you're this thing that just turned into a gray pile of crap for a while. So you need to pretty yourself up. That's what Diablo 4 needs to do. It needs to make me believe in it.
Yes.
And I don't believe in it. I think it's cool that I'm getting more Diablo. I'm getting the thing that I grew up with, that's cool. But I'm not using my nostalgia on this one. I can't.
No, because they've had 10 years to fix D3.
Yeah.
10 years. I mean, really, it doesn't seem like that, but yes, it's been 10 years. And the game is all but stripped down to log in, max level in 30 minutes, and start hitting the greater rifts. And that's it. There's your gameplay. And just grind, baby, grind. Which, I mean, it's not a terrible thing, but then at the end of the day, it's really, you can play by yourself.
So I'm going to talk about Destiny. Because Destiny is the closest thing that I have played since Diablo 2 that is like Diablo 2.
Okay.
Destiny is, what if we took all of these base core ideas that are in D2, and instead of a bell run, you could do a PvP bell run, or a PvP PvE bell run.
What?
Or we have 6 campaigns that are at least 6 hours long that you could do. You're there, not required. If you boot up Destiny 2 and you log in, you go to a different section, to a different NPC, and you say, I want to play that campaign. And then it'll start you on the campaign mission, and you do that campaign. You're not obligated. You don't have to go through the story at all if you don't want to. And the raids and dungeons in those games, they're not randomized. They are set like you would do a bell run. But they are so interesting, and the mechanics in them are so different. And there's all these little details that you have to keep in mind with. You have to have certain build comps together. And there's all these things that have been branched and expanded on that all still draw back to this core thing of what Diablo 2 was. Which is you gear up, and then you level yourself. And then you get with the guild, and then you just level with them. And then you stay with that guild, and then you trade and stuff. This just adds PvP. And then an actual PvP matchmaking system. Like, you go into a thing, and you actually fight each other in teams and stuff like that. And then it adds Gambit. And what Gambit is... Gambit... What is the best way I can describe Gambit? Because Gambit's interesting. There's no game that I've seen that's like Gambit. Gambit is 2 teams... It's kind of like a MOBA, but it's not like a MOBA. It's 2 teams that get put on a map. Different maps, but they're the same map layout and everything. And they have to take this stuff that the enemies drop, and they have to bank it into basically what is essentially a tower. And if you bank 5 of this item, you send a blocker to the other team, which stops them from sending from banking items. 5 is a small, 10 is a medium, and 15 is a large. Which basically spawns enemies that they have to kill in order to get the tower back up to bank more of the moat. So you can basically deny each other back and forth resources.
Interesting.
And when you fill that bank up, it spawns a primeval. And what a primeval is basically a boss that you have to kill.
Huh.
Now, that's the co-op part of it. Where it gets to PvP is that every once in a while, and on these certain milestones, a portal will open up. And you can jump in that portal, and you literally invade the other team's map, and you kill them.
Huh.
And how it works is that you yourself have to pick up these items that the monsters drop. And if you die, you lose those items. Doesn't matter if you die to another player or if you die to an enemy killing you. You die and you lose them. If you lose them, that just means the longer it takes to get that boss to spawn. So, if you invade normally, and let's say you find somebody that's got 10 of those items, and you kill them, you just denied 10 items.
Gotcha.
For your team. And they lost 10, so they have to catch up. Now, when the primeval spawns and you invade, when you kill a member of the other team, it heals their boss.
Huh.
So if you're really fucking good at PvP, you invade. And you keep killing their fucking team until they literally just can't, and you just win. Your other team wins. Or your team wins. Because you're killing them, and they can't kill the boss fast enough because it keeps healing because they're dying. And then your team is ending up doing that, you know. So it's this really interesting PvP, PvE thing. that I haven't seen in any other game.
Huh. No, that is definitely different.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Destiny so far, and there's a reason why it's like, yeah, I'm probably gonna put a hold on Destiny 2 whenever 4.0 comes out, but that's not a game, like, at this point, that's not a game I'm gonna give up. That game is very different, and it's got over 5 years left for development shit to come out.
That's cool.
They have stated that what they're originally going to do with the first Destiny was it was going to be a decade-long game, and then Activision pressured them to make. Activision was basically like, we want 3 titles that you need to release. You can't do this 10-year game.
Yeah, I remember that whole whatever.
So that's why Destiny 2 happened. That's literally the reason, is because they were pressured into releasing a new game. So they made Destiny 2, which is basically it's literally Destiny 1's engine. They just continued story for it. Which, what it was supposed to be was just Destiny 1 for 10 years, and it was supposed to have this giant story. But because Activision was Activision, they had to release Destiny 2. Now they don't have to worry about that because Activision's gone and they're independent. So
right,
but
which was the best thing that ever happened to them.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's basically that game is something. It is actually something special. I don't want to be hyperbolic about it, and I don't want to exaggerate, but that game is actually special. And I waited to play it until Activision had their hands off of it, and I'm glad I did. Because starting it when I did, there's no pay to win anymore. They got rid of all of that shit. They converted all that pay to win shit to basically little ornaments skins that you can put on your armor. You don't get it in any. There's zero advantage to spending money in that game, real money, other than getting cool skins for your weapons and your armor, and that's it. And then for your ships, there's a whole bunch of like shaders and stuff and coloring. You could dye all your armor and everything like that, but it's literally just cosmetics, and then little cool things like little buddies and pets.
Isn't it amazing how companies are starting to get that? Isn't it amazing? And we've been saying this for years, that skin to win is where it's at. And it's also amazing to me that whenever I say skin to win, people don't have a clue what I'm talking about because they've been so conditioned into the pay to win, or pay for convenience, or pay for whatever you want to call it. That skin to win just goes right over their head. They don't even comprehend it, especially.
They just think you mean pay to win.
Correct.
Basically.
And that's not at all. Because I mean, shit. Even back when we were playing League of Legends back then, we used to call it skin to win. You had to have that skin so you could get. You know what I mean? And it didn't do anything. It just gave you a different appearance.
Just makes it look cool.
Right. And then Path of Exile came out and said, "Oh, okay, hold my beer." And then.
So the only difference is that their expansions you have to pay for them. Mainly because Bungie is a very AAA game. Bungie is on the level of Blizzard when it comes to their how big they are. So they need to make a little bit more money than I would say GGG needs to make in order to make their game.
Yeah.
So their expansions are usually you got to pay for them, but the story of their expansions and all that stuff, you get at least 30 hours, 40 hours of content from each expansion that they put out. Easily. Not just the story. They put out like new areas and new zones, new raids, new in-game, just they push it, basically. I'm sure if GGG got really big, they would have to start charging for their big expansions. I don't think they'd charge for their leagues, but they'd charge for their big expansions that they do.
Well, we'll see. Well, we'll see after 4.0 comes out, because that is their. Let's see. They had a 10-year plan, and shit. When was their alpha? In what, 2012? Or was it 2011? So they.
2012?
I'm wanting to say it was 2012. So they have 3 more years, and it kind of fits their timeline because They bring 4.0 out, that's going to give them, what did I say, every 3 months you get a league, so that's going to bring them 12 more 12 more leagues, which would take them up to what they said they were going to do. Their numbers. I forget what the exact numbers are, but that kind of makes sense. Kind of correlates with it. So 4.0 with the changed models, I mean, hell, you got to wonder if they're not working on a different engine altogether for 4.0.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
You know what I mean?
At this point, it could literally be anything.
Yep.
1.0. It could be PoE 2. Who the fuck knows at this point?
Right.
I mean, I would fucking buy it. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
I trust that company with my money, and I will give them money because they deserve it.
They do. I mean, that is the only company...
They put out Platinum, S+, fucking stellar everything. You might not like it, but goddamn, they put out content, and it is constant, and they listen to their feedback of the people that play that game, and they patch, and they fix, and they adjust. Like, who knows? If Blight League goes core, it might get adjusted and fixed to where it's a thing that's actually fun. I don't know. Delve was a bit messy when it first came out, and now Delve is one of the best things that's ever happened.
Right.
So, it's just one of those things. It's like, they know what they want to do. I don't think they're going to make Blight core. It might make it a map mod. That's what I would assume.
Yeah, and I think it deserves that because, I don't know, man. Just something about this league. It should be
a sparingly thing, basically.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a year doing it every single map. It should be like, oh, Blight, cool, alright. Like an Abyss. It should be an Abyss. Like how Abysses are.
Yeah, there you go.
It shows up every once in a while and you're like, oh, cool. But yeah. Like, I have no idea what they're going to announce. We know new models are coming for the characters. That got teased and like hinted at a year ago.
Right. Yeah, the movement, the animation, they're just totally being remodeled.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's about it. That's about all we know.
Maybe the witch won't limp now.
Yeah, maybe. But, I mean, getting back on Diablo 4, like, they have to fucking wow everyone at this point.
Yeah.
Because the people in the ARPG community, even the people that still play D3 and like it, like, PoE is king right now.
It is, yeah.
There is no denying it.
It's the greatest free-to-play game, period, on the planet right now, in existence. It is the best free-to-play game of any game. Name the game, and it is still the best free-to-play game there is. I mean, that's the thing with D4 is that even watching the audience, and I don't know if they doctor up their applause and all that, but I really didn't see a whole lot of people. I saw a lot of folded arms in the audience, or people sitting there just doing the golf clap, like, okay, you know. That
is because who goes to BlizzCon? World of Warcraft people go to BlizzCon.
Yeah, I guess, but why are you sitting in? Why are you sitting in the D4 panel? Get out!
Well, it was because it was the
the main stage.
The opening ceremony goes.
It was main stage.
They fucking went nuts over that WoW expansion. They were like, woo, over Diablo 4. It's the same audience as
the Shadow Stalker, Shadow Tower. Yeah, I don't know.
I could care less at this point.
The League of Shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is with and this is something you've been able to do, and I'm going to keep going back to it because we may have to pick this up like in a later discussion after we watch it and break it down, or maybe one time we could get together and watch it together and break down the trailer, break down the gameplay trailer, which I think that we should do because you can always.
I think is that we need to wait until one of the dudes that is covering it at releases their playthrough.
Yeah, or something like that.
Their playthrough has the UI and it has the inventory stuff and the skill trees.
Yeah.
So I think we should wait until they put that out and then basically go through that detail. Because the gameplay trailer has no UI. You don't even see what items drop. There's none of that shit.
Right, it's just showing off skills and animation, all that.
This is what the game looks like. This is how it plays.
But in
the in-depth.
But in their trailers, though, they always have those things you could pull out. It's just like whenever they did the splash. Remember, they did it for like 3 weeks. They did the splash, and ever so slightly you could see more and more. And that's one thing they have done consistently, all the way from back in the day, is you could pick up on their cinematic trailers a lot of information. Now, also, too, with that, there's a lot of things that you could watch from a cinematic trailer that might not even be in the game. So it depends on if they are really going back to, hey, you could watch this, and if you look at it frame by frame, you're going to pick up, like the scrolling, the writing on the walls and all that. You know, are there runes in those writings? Because I didn't really look that closely. You know, who is this seeker of knowledge guy? You know, that was with these 3 guys. Who were the 3 guys? You know, how did they find their way to Tristram? Because obviously, I mean, let's start at the very beginning of the trailer. Obviously, that's Tristram. There's the cathedral, although it looks like a little bitty church.
It looked like it was the exact opening to Diablo 1 to me. Like, if you go back and you look at the opening cinematic to Diablo 1, there's that little shed that opens.
Yeah.
And there's a cathedral that's in the back.
Right.
And they're basically praying. That's where Lazarus takes I guess the lore now is that it's the king's son, Albrecht, and like playing the. Let me actually look it up. The opening cinematic to Diablo 1 that's what it reminded me of the most. Like, you know, the sword in the ground and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Dude, that's like 1 for 1. Holy shit, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, and that's what it reminded me of is that. So I'm wondering, you know, is that some type of detailed backstory, or is that current? It's got to be current. It's got to be current, but they went back to that cathedral. You know what I mean? And we got to wonder, from the original, they had to have rebuilt it. You know what I mean? Covered over that ground to the gates of hell numerous times, from 1 into 2 into 3, you know, and now into 4. And you can see the de-evolution of it, and then back to where it looks from D1 till now, if that makes sense. But you always have the entrance, because at first the entrance was in the front. This time the entrance is in the back. You know, the hole in the ground. So, and there were carvings on the ground on the way to the hole in the ground where we heard them hollering. So,
see, but the thing that also makes me wonder is that's where they summon Lilith.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's where they summon Lilith, then that would have to be some sort of different location. So what I'm thinking is because it's the opening cinematic, they're trying to invoke how Diablo 1 was.
And it doesn't have to be the same place. They could just be given that as the, oh my God, this is Diablo, like original Diablo.
Yeah, like,
and then
it looks like Diablo 1. Holy shit! Like
yeah,
that, you know,
and then it just went straight to black, and then it picked up on the adventures. We don't know where they were. I mean, the man mentioned Sanctuary, but the guy,
Sanctuary is the planet, so yeah, they would have to be on Sanctuary. That's the planet.
Well, that's not what I mean. They were
route, whatever the fuck Sanctuary is.
I'm trying to think of what plane that they would be. The place that they it's not Sanctuary. Yeah, it's not Sanctuary. I'm actually meaning though. I'm talking about
the heavenly realm, and then there's the hell realm.
Yes,
and the middle realm that was hidden by Anarius and Lilith.
That's it right there. That's what I'm thinking.
That's the human realm.
Okay, so they got to be in there, but what part is what I'm saying is because when they went into that summoning chamber, that's what I'm getting at is when they went into that summoning chamber, that dude freaked the fuck out. He was like, "This is forbidden," you know.
Well, he had to be are they called child? I can't remember. He kept saying Akarat. He kept saying,
yes,
protect me, Akarat. Akarat was oh God, who the fuck? Can't remember. Akarat is basically, I think he's with the Paladins. He's one of the gods. Oh god, how the fuck do you spell Akarat? Okay, there it is, Akarat. So, for Akarat was a paladin.
Mm-hmm.
So
this dude is part of the Haradrim. That's what I was saying earlier. Is this Seeker of Knowledge guy had to be part of the Haradrim, and since they are going back,
the Akarat was an ascetic from Jiansai. It was he who developed the faith that would give rise to the Zakarum Church. So he's the one that created the Zakarum.
Okay.
Like the Herald of Zakarum, you know.
Yeah.
Appeared on Akarat and showed him the light that illuminates all souls when it's blessed with its blessed power. So long as we trust in this sacred force, we shall have strength everlasting and falter not in our trials. Akarat was a wandering ascetic from, having become disillusioned with society and its incessant conflicts, he joined the ranks of the humble meditative order that sought to enlightenment and peace. One night, while in deep meditation, he envisioned a spectacular flash of light and energy cascading across the sky. According to most accounts, this was the coming of an angel named Yari, Yaerius, or Son of Light, in Akarat's native language. It is said that this angel revealed to Akarat the tenets that was to become the Zakarum faith. These teachings stress the necessity of resisting all things evil and embracing with total devotion the light. So this is what the Paladins and the Crusaders.
So it's the Zakarum that actually.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's right. The Haradrim are the ones that Tyrael actually employed.
Ooh. So a theory postulated by Deckard King diverged from this account, however.
Because he was part of the Haradrim.
Yeah. He believed that Akarat had instead seen an echo of Oldiskian sacrifice at the end of the Sin War, as there had been reports of mystics with similar experiences. Thus, he theorized that while in meditation, Akarat had seen the same phenomenon and attributed it to being named Son of Light in his native language. Whether the truth behind the matter, Akarat came from the experience with the belief that humans were powerful vessels of light, and that all should seek their inner light in order to live good lives.
There you go. So it's a combination of both then.
So Akarat disappears into the jungles of Kyrgyzstan, which is
the Flare jungle.
We're going there in D4 again, by the way. While his teaching has left their mark, they would flounder in obscurity for a millennium. It was not until Emperor Tsara's codification of the Zakarum faith that it became an actual church. Subsequently, the dominant religious force on Sanctuary. So the Zakarum faith is the dominant faith. Shortly afterwards, when the sons of Rakis were sent to bring the light to the west, the Crusaders traveled east on what was rumored to be the path of Akarat took before his disappearance. People may pray to Akarat at times.
Which this dude did.
Yeah. The Paladin Akarat was named after it, yeah. So, yeah.
Alright. So, when he was praying to Akarat and asking for his protection, that would be Zakarum.
Yeah, he was basically...
So Tyrael ain't part of this at all then. So what I said earlier about the Haradrim, just scratch that and insert Zakarum. Because that's what I was actually getting. I knew there was two different faiths. One of them wasn't even a faith. One of them was just a murder squad for the three prime evils. And that was the Haradrim. That's who Tyrael put together to employ, which was led by Talrasha, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Basically what happened is that Mephisto turned out to be too strong, so Talrasha gave himself up and said, just bind him into my body, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, and Tyrael jammed the... Yeah. And Zul, what's that dude's name? Zultura, or whatever his name is?
Oh, I can't remember.
was like the first lieutenant to Talrasha.
Yeah.
Because there's two different theories on what actually happened with that soul stone. So, and I know he was part of one of them. But anyway, long story short, that was the Herodrum. That's what I was kind of. That's that. But the Zakarum is this over here with the Paladin and this dude, the Seeker of Knowledge, because I think it's a bigger part of it. Little things like that in a trailer of this magnitude can really tell a story. And the other three guys were just fodder people. And then the one guy that pretty much got left behind. I don't know what they didn't. These are like non-developed characters that we're talking about. The only one that I even recognized was Lilith, and that was it. But I want to know who that guy was that was praying, and I want to know who the guy was who actually told him to summon, finish the words, finish speaking the words, open your eyes and finish the words. You know, he was talking about there's no light here and blah, blah, blah. So that guy has something to do with it. I mean, he tore out of that other dude's body, pretty much just manifested from the flesh of that other guy. So he needs a name. And the first, I mean, before he said mother, you know, the first thing that popped in my mind when I looked at him, I was like, that's either Baal, but it couldn't be, or it was Duriel. And that's the first two people that popped in my mind because of how Duriel looks when you first encounter him in Luke Ghislaine. That's kind of what I thought, but Duriel is not the son of Lilith.
No.
So that couldn't be it either. So who is this clown? I mean, these are important factors, even though we say, yeah, the gameplay is important. They have to impress us. I like the theory, you know, I like to talk about things like this a lot because how are they following, not necessarily canon, but how are they following and continuing the story if it is indeed after Diablo 3? Because there are no books after this.
After D3.
Right. So now we're leaping into the future yet again, and now we're having to figure out who are these people. Because you could rest assured, whoever he is, you're going to run across him in D4.
Because,
and even, I want to talk about the 3, too. I want to go back to the 3. So go ahead with your thought.
Because D3 takes place 13 years after D2. I'm almost positive on that one. It's either 13 or 23. It's a decade or two. I know that for sure. So this takes place probably like 20 or 30 years after that, after the events of D3. And the events, so like, I don't know if you've seen the promotional art for D4, but it's a picture of Lilith, and it's done by the same dude who drew the Diablo 2 art, the skull with the hood and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The same guy. And she is holding Diablo's head, his skull.
Yeah, because she... You know, and that's interesting. That's interesting that's like that. Do you have a link to that picture?
Let me see.
And while you're looking that up, that's interesting that you bring that up right there and that's part of the artwork because Lilith was like the mastermind between or for going against Diablo and Mephisto and Baal, against her own father, to banish them from the realm, from the realm and put them on Earth. She was behind that. She actually went against Diablo first. I forget exactly the whole story behind that, but Lilith is an interesting character that we're getting.
You learn a bit more about her in the books, but not a lot. She is a fucking manipulator, that's for sure.
Yes.
That is all that she does.
She's kind of like the Dominion. She wants to change it to her what her ultimate plan is without firing a shot.
If she doesn't, basically, if people don't follow her plan, including Anarius, which was the person that she loved, like, she will fucking kill them. Also, This promo art of Lilith has the same horns that Diablo 3's Diablo has to an extent. And I'm trying to find like an official art of it.
Damn, we have links in here from last year. I'm looking in the Discord right now from last BlizzCon.
Diablo fans should have it. Oh god, Diablo fans is taking a while to load.
You hadn't found it yet?
I'm on Diablo fans. I'll find it here in a second. A lot of news came out. I gotta scroll. So here is a picture of Lilith, just straight up.
That's all I want to look at.
This isn't the promotional art. This is.
Oh, well, I want to see the promotional art
the
picture.
Art book. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to get to it. God damn it! They showed it off. It's a very specific picture that I'm trying to find.
And people keep bringing up Duriel, so Duriel's definitely going to be in it. But let me
he was in the trailer.
Yeah. I'm saying he must be going to be. Yeah. While you're looking for that, let me talk about what I was talking to talk about. In the trailer, they started off, or the guy started off, the Seeker of Knowledge, because I'm gonna call him the Seeker of Knowledge because I don't know who the hell he is. They didn't give him a name. All right.
Okay, here it is.
He specifically was talking about, or when he read things, they come by 3, right? All right. So let's open original here. I want to have a look at this. All right. So let's go over here. And let's have a look at this. All right, so Lilith is holding Diablo's head. All right. The interesting thing about this is that she led 2 different campaigns against and for Diablo, if you remember. She led a campaign, first of all, to banish the 3 primevals to the Earth plane. All right?
Yep.
And then, whenever they got defeated, she led a campaign and gave her own energy to summon back Diablo from hell. Yep. So, she's very, I don't know what happened in between because I don't remember, but what factor will Diablo have in this, seeing that she's holding his head? Is this something to where she's going to use this skull to resummon him once more? Because Diablo has to be in it. It's not going to be Diablo without Diablo. And will he be a larger factor? Or has she somehow, since you see the horns that she has, like you said, is very, very close to what we saw in D3. Is she
that head of Diablo is not D3 Diablo?
No, it's not. But that's got to be Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, it can't be anybody else. I mean, it's definitely different.
So, as someone who does art, the impressions that I'm getting from this piece is that she's holding it tenderly to her chest, so she has some reverence to Diablo.
Yes.
She's not holding it aggressively, and she's basically looks like she's offering it up to you.
Yes. Yeah,
she's
exactly.
Holding it like it's some kind of
the way she's holding
it, of some kind of bounty,
like
or food or something like that.
Yeah, like she could
it up in front of her.
Like she could potentially reach out and hand it to somebody.
Yeah.
But what kind of alliance? See, this is going to play out later on, I'm sure. But what kind of alliance is she going to have with Diablo this time?
See, the thing about it is that if she can come back, then Anarius can come back.
Correct.
For sure, 100%. Because Odyssean killed both of them.
Yeah, well,
He killed Lilith first, and then he killed Inarius because Inarius was trying to stop. Was basically trying to kill humanity at that point.
what about Lucian?
I don't know what happened with Lucian.
You remember one of them, was it Lucian? I'm wanting to say it was Lucian. As a matter of fact, I think it is. It didn't specifically say that Odyssean killed him. It just said, I forget if it was Lucian or the other one. It just says they are no more. You remember that he just kind of like thought him out of existence. Got some Freddy Krueger shit happening there.
Hang on.
Because it doesn't specifically say any of them like died, but that one,
Lucian.
it just says that, and they are no more, and they just kind of went away.
Lucian is the son of Mephisto.
Right, and Lilith.
Lucian is the brother to Lilith.
Lucian is the brother to Lilith, and both of them are brother and sister, and daughter and son to Mephisto.
Yeah, he served as the leader of the Triune during the Sin War,
which was a religion that he put together to try to take over that plane, incognito to the high heavens. He didn't want to draw a whole lot of attention. That's how that whole thing came about. And in the meantime, Lilith took human form of some exiled or fugitive royal person and tried to lure Odyssean and his followers, the farmer, that's what they called him, to overthrow them so she could take over. So it was kind of like, and then who's that other dude?
Which one?
The other one that you mentioned? Not Lucian, not Lilith. Who's the other guy? Started with a U, I think.
Odyssean?
No, the other guy. The other bad guy.
Oh God, what the fuck is his name?
You just mentioned him a minute ago. Anyway, that guy, and well, actually, yeah, the former lover of Lilith. They were both.
Oh, you mean Inarius?
Yeah, Inarius. Yeah, okay. Inarius. Oh, my bad. I don't know.
Yeah, he was one of the angels.
Right. Okay. So that was who Lucian was against, and then Lilith was his former lover. It was a whole big mixed up mess. I mean, it's kind of like you get it mixed up sometimes thinking about it. I mean, unless you're actually specifically reading off of it, but you get my point, right? All of that at some point in time, whenever she went to give her energy to summon Diablo, all right, I'm wondering if she's doing the same thing out of this picture. Has she, like, absorbed the essence of Diablo? And is that why her head looks like it does right now? I'm kind of thinking about that.
Yeah, so this says, instead of killing the demon, Odyssean simply imagined the demon to be nothing.
And then he was no more.
Faded away and disappeared.
Right. And that's it.
He was literally willed to be nothing.
Yes. And that's it. Didn't say he died. It just, now, where did he go? Did he go back to the hell? You know, did he go back to the hell plane or what? Or there's another plane also outside of heaven and hell. He could have went there. You know? So we could see a return of all of them. But whenever they talked about the three, you know, we can't necessarily talk about the primeval. We have to talk about these three. All right? There's a bunch of threes that we could bring up that Lilith, here's my ultimate point. Lilith is always smack dab in the middle of the three, if you think about it. All right? Those three that we just talked about, her brother and the angel, what'd you call him? What'd you say? Inarius?
Inarius.
All right. Yep. So it could be Lilith, Inarius, and Lucian, or it could be the three, as in, and this is something that I didn't even know, that Iswald is considered a lesser evil. Did you know that? Iswald is considered a lesser evil. So it could be Lilith, Duriel, and Iswald, because that right there are the three people that you had to go into the red portals to get the body parts of Mephisto, Diablo, and Baal to open Ubertrist. So that's a three. There's a bunch of different threes, but she's always in the middle of it. And that's
Okay,
very
so
interesting.
I'm doing a refresher on Lilith, and so here's what it says. At some point, Inarius and Lilith made it. The union of angel and demon was without precedent, as was the birth of their offspring, Rathma. Rathma was the first of these new beings called Nephilim, but was not the last, as the pair's fellow angels and demons also produced offspring of their own. So I forgot about that. I forgot that it was not just Lilith and Inarius, that they had basically turned a whole bunch of angels and demons to their side.
Hmm.
Um, the renegade angels and demons began to see that the Nephilim were more powerful than their progenitors, raising concerns that the Nephilim might pose a threat to their parents or might draw attention of heaven and hell to sanctuary, neither of which would condone such progeny. Because of this, conflict arose among the renegades, some arguing for the destruction of the Nephilim, others advocating that they should be spared. Anarius called for a period of reflection, which his followers obeyed. According to an ancient text, Lilith was driven into a mad frenzy at the prospect of her children's extinction. She saw the Nephilim as the future and as the means of ending the eternal conflict once and for all. She morphed into a new horrific form and hunted down her fellow renegades. She ruthlessly murdered each and every follower of Anarius, leaving him to discover the carnage she had wrought. Horrified, Anarius could not bring himself to kill Lilith and banished her from sanctuary into the void. He then attuned the World Stone to cause the powers of the Nephilim to diminish over time. Through each subsequent Nephilim generation, their powers diminish, eventually giving birth to a weaker mortal race known as humanity. So that's where she had been, and then she finally escaped and returned to Sanctuary in the Sin War books. Oh boy. Let's see. Yeah, she was disguising herself as basically a human
Mm-hmm.
and wanted to fall. Basically, she made Odyssean fall in love with her, pretty much.
Until he ended up long down the road seeing her true form. But that was when, was it Anarius or Lucian that actually sent people after Odyssean? I think it was Lucian. Yeah, it was Lucian.
As the Cathedral Light, led by Anarius and the Temple of the Triune, led by the Primevals. So, the Cathedral of Light was led by Anarius, and the Temple of the Triune was basically run by Baal, Mephisto, and Diablo. And they, I'm assuming, they were like, go fucking get that dude, he's a problem. And they told Lucian that, and then Lucian was like, go fucking get those dudes, he's a problem.
Okay. So it was Anarius that everybody was after.
Let's see.
Or we're talking about Odyssean.
Yeah, it was Odyssean that they were all after.
Got you. So both sides pitted against him, but Lilith protected him.
Yeah. And during this whole time, Lilith keeps manipulating Odyssean to do certain things. Like, Odyssean ended up, at the beginning, he was arrested for the murder of a second missionary of the Cathedral of Light, as a knife had been found embedded into the man's ribcage. Lilith basically manipulated him to do that, basically manipulated his mind and body to do that. So the thing with Lilith, the main attribute with Lilith is that Lilith loves her children. She will do anything to preserve her children. Does not matter who's in power, she is willing to basically kill everyone for her children. Her children now basically just include humanity in general, because they were all descendants of the Nephilim.
So the guy, whoa, hold up. Okay, so that explains who the guy is then. He's got to be a Nephilim.
Yeah, he's got to be one of the... He is either straight up a Nephilim, or he has the knowledge that Lilith gave birth to all of them. And he is a human that has that knowledge, which would make him a very powerful human if he was a human.
Right.
If he is a Nephilim, then he is basically on par with all the characters in the Diablo series that have been the heroes, pretty much.
So who... Do we have any backstory on and I know I keep hammering on this, but because I think we could be onto something with this core story right here. It couldn't be Odyssean because
Odyssean sacrificed himself
he sacrificed himself
to save humanity.
All right.
He literally blew himself up into basically nothing. Now, that doesn't entirely mean that Odyssean's gone. If Lilith can come back, then...
Right. Yeah, anybody can.
Yeah.
And the guy that we see in the chamber summoning... Now, the thing is, here's my point. Odyssean wasn't the son of Lilith, though. Because she tried to turn... She tried to turn into her lover, so...
Odyssean is the first human descendant that basically gets their power awoken. Think of Odyssean as the first... He's way stronger than like a paladin or a barbarian or anything like that, but he is the progenitor of those classes.
Yeah.
He is a being that can do all, basically. He is all the classes put into one being.
Gotcha.
He's the first one.
But we don't really know where he comes from other than him being a farmer.
Yeah. But since all of humanity is descended from the Nephilim, and it is because of the World Stone that humanity and the Nephilim get weaker
We're subdued, yes.
Yeah. Technically, all of humanity are Nephilim. They're just very weak Nephilim.
Right. So he could have come from anybody, heaven or hell.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm just trying to put it together because, I don't know, the characters that we see, the two, Seeker of Knowledge and that one guy, I'm just trying to figure out who these people are. You know, and I may be right or wrong, and it may be totally off base, but it's interesting to think about it because now, you know, we've picked up on a lot of things you reading the lore from way back when, because I think even though that's 3,000 years before, back in the Sin Wars, time has no relevance with these people or these demons, heaven and hell, because they're on a whole different level than we are. They're on a whole different level than humanity and even the Nephilim. Time doesn't matter to them. You know, we don't know when the time, we say decades later, but to them, that's just but a blink of the eye. Because they are essentially immortal. And they keep crossing over to different planes from whatever, you know, being defeated, being banished, or whatever. So, that's just, that's why I keep on going back to the original. Because that's what the guy, especially at the, you know, when he did the ceremony and they did the gameplay and all this other stuff. The dude talking on stage, he kept on saying, you know, we're taking it back to the roots of Diablo, the original Diablo. We're going way back and grabbing those type ideas. So they had to have read the books.
So here's what happened to her in the books. This is basically up until she's back now.
Right. Which matters if you think about it.
During the final confrontation, Lilith was defeated. As Odyssean, let's see, I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anything here. As Odyssean used the very powers that Lilith had helped awaken, and the Nephilim army that Lilith desired against her. Inarius also played a part in her downfall, though hidden from Odyssean and his companions and even Rathma. Inarius once again banished Lilith, this time assuring that the flaws that had allowed Lilith to return were removed. So, what that tells me is that they found some fucking way after decades and decades and after 3,000 years to get to Diablo 1 all the way up to Diablo 4, someone finally found a fucking way to bring her back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they set up that summoning portal.
Because, and if you think about it, they kept on talking about, or they go reading about the three. It took three of them. And there's always been three throughout the entire thing. The three prime evils, the three lesser evils, etc., and so forth. And we haven't even mentioned Andariel in any of this. You know? So.
Let's see.
Which technically Lilith in Diablo 2 was Uber Andariel. That's what everybody called her. But yeah, that's somewhere. It matters. I mean, I'm telling you, somewhere in that story, if they're actually going to follow the lore, follow the story, it's got something to do with it.
Here's the interesting thing. I wonder if they're actually going to incorporate the Pandemonium event into the lore. Because you remember what the Pandemonium event is, right? Considering that the Pandemonium event is a BattleNet only quest and is not available in the single player or even open BattleNet games, it cannot be said that this is a part of the official lore. And this says, after her legions of succubi and Andariel were killed by mortals who successfully defended the World Stone, Lilith swore to personally intervene. She masterminded the revival of Diablo by manifesting herself in the mortal realm and performing a ritual of dark summoning. This ritual, thought long to be impossible by the most powerful mortal wizards, allowed Lilith to link with Diablo across realms, strengthening him until he was finally able to once again reincarnate himself in the mortal plane. This is where Diablo walks the earth comes from. Rage and a deep yearning for revenge boiled within the eyes of the Lord of Terror, and together he and Lilith resurrected the two remaining prime evils, as well as Doriel and Iswal.
There you
two
go.
of their strongest agents. Diablo announced his grand plan. The three were finally strong enough to spread pandemonium throughout Sanctuary. Lilith could have easily conducted an assault on her own, but because she had been left severely weakened by the dark summoning ritual, she agreed to aid the primal evils and command some of their remaining forces.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to right there. That right there. And then after the fact, that's what we need to, that's the part where I guess she gets, and the thing is, that's Diablo 2 time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really that long ago. You see where I'm going with it, though? Where, kind of think of the story into the story into the story of where she fits in.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, basically the dude who summons her has to be, basically has to be either some kind of a cult, part of a new cult that knows where they come from. Basically, probably either a cult of Lilith, which would be a cult of humans that are trying to regain their powers in Nephilim, their full strength.
Could it not be, and maybe I'm wrong about how powerful he was, could it not be somebody like Horizon who knew how to manipulate the planes? Because he was a very powerful sorcerer.
It's possible.
You know what I mean?
I don't think they ever described what Horizon looks like. So it is possible.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, we're literally just going to have to wait. We can't. I mean, we can speculate, all that stuff, but like, that dude is such an enigma. He could be somebody super important, or he could just be a jobber cultist. But the fact that he was featured in the trailer would lead me to believe that he was not some jobber cultist guy.
Right. Yep. But the fact that he called her mother, that's the thing that gets me. That part right there. So he had to be, who's the one that's slipping through the cracks that both of us should know and we don't at the moment. So that's all the thing I'm thinking of.
Oh, and Dariel got retconned to be. So this says in original lore, Lilith was listed as being the mother of Andariel. This was retconned to Andariel being older than Lilith, originating as one of the heads of Tathmet. This factor alone would make Andariel an aunt to the Succubi Queen, thus somewhat reversing their original roles. That's interesting.
And that's what I was saying earlier. We haven't even mentioned Andariel. And so there you go. Because
Yeah.
Andariel was actually guarding the pathway and keeping the Haradrim at bay. And the Nephilim, or whatever, at the time of the story said the Haradrim. She was blocking their way of following Baal, I'm wanting to say, to the east. She was that's the whole reason why she was even in that cathedral. So she's going to have some type of factor, or you would think she would have some type of factor in this one too.
I wonder if her eyes are important.
Yeah, you see the different colors of her eyes too.
Yeah, the fact that one's blue.
Yeah, I was checking that out. That's one reason why I wanted to pull I got the pictures overlaid. I had it on the webpage. I'm going to put it on overlay so we can just go back and forth with.
Does she have different
Let me.
older art of her, but I don't think she has different eye colors in that older art.
Yeah, because one of them's really bright blue, and the other one's kind of white, grayed out.
Yeah, you can even see it in that cinematic trailer whenever she's all like first comes out and is all blood and shit.
Is this it?
You
Yeah.
can see that one of the eyes is blue.
Yep. Yeah,
It's
one
her
of them
left
is
eye.
her left eye is very bright blue, and the other one is just subdued gray green. It's like the same color as the rest of her. You know, how is that significant? It would almost make you think that that has something to do with the mortal plane.
Yeah.
And I may be wrong, but Diablo's skull looks like the original.
Yeah, it does look like his original skull.
It looks like the original D1 skull. That's exactly what it looks like to me.
I'm trying to see his because the reason why he looks like he does in D3 is because it's what's her name? He takes the body of the girl. That's why he's all skinny and small and stuff. See, there's a whole bunch of art of him. It is. It's the. It is the Diablo one.
Yep, that's the Diablo 1 skull. That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, that's what it looked like when we were talking about it earlier. I was like, yes, that's old school. The original school, actually. Even the colors of it, if you look at it that closely, even the colors of it are reminiscent of back then as compared to the rest of the artwork.
Oh, let me look at that promo art actually. Hang on. That's actually not his Diablo 1. That's
It's not?
his Diablo 2 look.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Huh?
Man. Look at this.
Huh. I guess you're right because the horns are way more curled on the first one. You posted something?
Yeah, this art. Remember this art?
Let me look.
Look at the horns.
That's Diablo 2. Yeah, but was that a fan? See, I never have understood that
No,
picture.
That's official.
That's official? That's not fan art? Okay.
No.
Yeah, because I used that a bunch in the past, but I never...
The skull she's holding is basically that head, but without the jaw, without the bottom. So it doesn't have the 3-point, at the bottom.
Yeah. Remember when you could just Google Diablo and it would come up with all the good pictures, and now you gotta like search for the shit. So many.
But no, that's his D2 look.
Okay. Yeah, because I just looked at the
Diablo
D1 one.
horns are like way more up. They
Yeah.
curve way more.
Yeah, they're almost like goat horns, like ram horns. Yeah, so that would be. I'm trying to find the other alternative picture that's still official, but the Diablo 2. Okay, but yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess it would be that one. There's one. I know it looks familiar, and the color tone of the skull is my point. Is way different than anything else that we're being in that picture. Yeah. So here's one here that's an actual green screen type. Yeah, and the crown of horns. The back spines. Yeah, that's very similar. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You got quiet. You reading?
Wait a minute. Okay. So I found that picture of that dude by looking at the images on the Diablo wiki.
Yeah.
He is in the Rathma section.
Oh, is he now?
So that is Rathma.
That's Rathma?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, there you go. I knew he had significance because he called her mother. And I couldn't remember until you said, who her offspring was. But now, see?
It's
There you go.
Rathma.
That's Rathma. All right. There you go. See, we're figuring it out. So you're not going to find this anywhere else, people. BlizzCon's not going to tell you. Everybody's too caught up in gameplay. But this is what happens when you go to actually breaking things down. And that's the one thing I wanted to do if we were going to do this, no matter if it's 6 hours long, is we have to break down everything. The pictures, the trailers, the stories that they tell on stage, that Reddit post, all of it. Because
He's gonna be a fucking boss fight for sure.
Right, and every that's the one thing about Blizzard. Every character except for like the fodder characters, like the three that volunteered their life, their blood to bring her back. I mean, they don't matter. But you got the Seeker of Knowledge, and I'm wondering. Now I know it showed in the trailer he ultimately died, but did he? Because if that is indeed now that we have a name to the figure, it's Rathma, right? Is that what you said?
Yep, the dude the pale-faced bald dude is Rathma.
That's Rathma. Okay, so now we can call him Rathma. All right, so now Rathma told this Seeker of Knowledge to open his eyes and say the words, and summon forth Lilith. And he even mentioned to him, you came here for knowledge. And after that, whenever he was slammed up against the sacrificial pillar, we'll call it, did he actually die there? Which he probably did. I'm just wondering. I don't know. Little things like that. Kind of I find curious.
This is interesting.
Okay, so now we have Rathma, the son of Lilith. All right, so that's two. Who's the third? Is it going to be the father? Or is it going to be Diablo?
Rathma, whose birth name was Lenarian, is a first generation Nephilim and the progenitor of the priests of Rathma necromancers. So he's the one that founded the necromancers. He is the son of Lilith and Anarius. He isn't on good terms with his parents, as Lilith destroyed the rebel angels and demons only to use the Nephilim's own ends. while Anarius believed that the Nephilim should worship him alone. So he's probably not on good terms more with his father. So it could be Anarius, Rathma, and Lilith are the three.
Could be. Very well could be. Because he even says to her, come forth, mother, and save us.
Yeah.
So who is us? Is it Anaris? You know? Could be.
See, the thing is, though, is that I don't think that she would want to have anything to do with Anarius, because they basically... Anarius banished her twice. Because of what she was doing to the Nephilim.
So it might not be him? So who would Rathma align himself with if not Anarius?
Maybe Diablo.
You think? Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. You would think it would be one of the two, but there's no really a connection that we know of. I mean, when it comes to Rathma and Diablo.
So here's the other crazy idea.
Because
is she even a bad guy? Is she even a villain in this game? Because we know she loves her children.
Correct.
She loves her children more than anything, which is every single person on Sanctuary. Anarius says, please, mother, help us. Us would be the people of Sanctuary.
Talk about Rathma?
Yeah, Rathma tells her.
Yeah.
Please, mother, help us.
Yeah. Now that's what I'm saying right there. And he's also, I mean, I don't know. You could look at it as, is he a good guy, a bad guy? Why did he burst out of that dude's body? Was he, gathering, flesh energy? I don't know what you would call it, but he is dressed like a crusader, kind of, sort of, without the helmet and everything.
Well, if he's the progenitor of the necromancers, then anything having blood, bone, anything like that.
But
I'm wondering now if that was a summoning thing that the necromancers made.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh, yeah. That very well could have been a necromancer thing.
Because Rathma, he's the one that made the necromancers. He would teach the necromancers about his mother and father and how important they are.
Yeah, and the thing is that, like I was talking about, I haven't even broke down and looked at all the etchings and the writings on the floor, on the pillars. I mean, all that shit. You know as well as I do. There ain't nothing Blizzard puts in anything, picture or otherwise, that doesn't mean something. It leads you to one thing, to another, to another. And then you could put these pieces together just like we did, right now, figuring out that the dude in question is Rathma.
Alright, hang on. See if I can find this picture and I'm going to send it to you.
So this dude, okay, and he's not dressed. I'm wrong. I am wrong. I could have swore that I saw him dressed in white. He is not. He is not. See, that's why I wanted to go back and look at this. He actually is in, I'm not going to call it necromancer gear, but he's got this big old pentagram medallion around his neck. He's got the 5-pointed star. He's in this dark brown leather, studded out. Yeah. At first, when I watched it, I don't know why I thought that he was in Crusader armor, but he's not. Here's a side view of it. It's the hood that got me. Mm-hmm. It's the way the leather hood goes like half of a skull. it kind of makes you wonder: is there anything behind that leather now? That I think now that we know that you said he's the progenitor to the necromancer. Yeah. So now that we figured this out, now I am seeing necromancer in there. Tells him to open his eye, and his eyes are just straight black.
Yeah.
Huh. So we are looking at Rathma.
Yep, that's Rathma. See, I know he's going to be a boss fight because you know what Rathma also takes his form as? Rathma takes his form as a giant flaming dragon.
And that was something I think I remember seeing in the gameplay trailer.
No, there's a big gold giant monster.
But
thing
not a
that kinda looks
dragon.
like a dragon.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's a dragon that's on fire. He's a green dragon that's on fire. That's what Rathma looks like in his other form.
You know, and the thing is, something else I find very interesting. I'm gonna go back over here. Something else I find very interesting while he is summoning, you can literally see the expression on this dude's face. Let's see. I don't want to have it loud. I don't want to hashtag TOS, but let's see. He's almost got this reverence look on his face in one look. And then her look.
That's the thing about Rathma. His personality is described as that he is very stoic and very calm and always means what he says and that kind of thing. Wait, what? Oh, God damn it! That's not the fucking. There's a specific picture in this wiki. It's like the very first shot. It's basically him standing, looking up at the summoning thing, and there's a shitload of runes all over the ground. I'm trying to see if I recognize any of them. I don't see any that are familiar entirely. Some kind of are, some kind of look like the old runes, but I was trying to link directly to the picture, but it was just like, no, we're gonna link to the article. Fuck you. But it is basically a picture of him standing there looking up at the summoning thing that he caused to squish out of those dudes.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of runes on the ground. None of them look familiar. Well, like, none of them look like the old runes that we know. Really, there's some that look close, but there's not like a raw there.
In this picture here that you linked?
It links to the wiki article. I was trying to link directly to the picture. Oh, it does link to the picture.
Yeah.
Of him standing there.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about on the floor.
Yeah, there's some that look close to the old runes, but not quite, really.
But I'm sure one or two of them in there is like spot on, and we're just not seeing it. You have to look at the different angles.
I have seen. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know this symbol that's to like his left, the circle with the line and it's got the two split.
Yeah.
I've seen that symbol before. I know I have. In Diablo somewhere.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah. Yeah. I see it right there at his feet. It's easier just to have that trailer up because I can. Damn it! If I can pick the right scene. Let's go back over to that. because I can just go back and forth on it because there's a big wide shot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right here it shows like walking up on the floor here.
Wait, does that cloak? Does it change at all?
What's that?
So, when describing the appearance of him, it says Rathma was described as a tall male, looking like a person in his 40s. His skin was pale white, with tall black hair on his head. He wore a rather special cloak. It shifted and moved in response to his emotional state and covered his head with a hood.
Oh, that's in this trailer. That's him. Other than the hair. He doesn't have hair. But that's him to a T.
See if that cloak changes at all in these pictures.
Oh, you talk about an actual. You talk about an actual trailer.
Yeah, because like in the appearance, it says that it changes and shifts depending on his emotional state, and like clearly, his mother coming back would cause an emotional response to him.
Oh, well, let's look at that. So he's trimmed in like brass. It's leather right there in that picture. Let's see. Let's go up a little bit. All right. Not there.
It doesn't seem like it is.
It looks like it stays the same to me.
That might be just a detail that they didn't want to mess with because it would basically change his overall look, you know?
Right. They just wanted to keep it static. Yeah.
Static for the cinematic.
Yeah. You know, her look, whenever she comes down out of that flesh and that blood offering, she almost, just for a split second, she kind of like, her eyes kind of shift a little bit, like she wondering where she's at. Like she wasn't really expecting to be summoned. And then she looks down and sees Rathma. I don't think she knew that he was going to do that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yep, I really don't think so. I think she is kind of like, this would be, if anything, a weakened state for her, being that she was basically banished twice, and this last time into the void of basically nothing. No energy to soak up, nobody, I don't know, just no energy to have.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a drink real quick.
All right.
Gives me time to pour my drink, so it's fine. I think I know what the other two classes are going to be.
All right, what are they?
So, what do we have as far as elemental goes? Fire, lightning, and ice.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other two that you need? In this world, you need light and dark.
Okay.
So, Paladin, Crusader, and then Necromancer has to be the other one.
The light and the darkness.
Because there has to be a balance, right?
Yes, always a balance. They even speak about that.
That's how the Necromancers are. There has to be a balance. So, because here's what my overall theory is. So far, what we know just from this trailer now is that Rathma has come back and has summoned his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Rathma's teachings have always been balance. The world needs balance, otherwise it will go crazy and it'll destroy itself. What has happened since Diablo 2, the World Stone has been destroyed,
Mm-hmm.
which means every human is going to slowly start getting stronger and stronger. Things are going to get more chaotic. And then that goes into Diablo 3, where there's a ceremony to bring Diablo back with Leia, and there's a Black Soul Stone that's involved, and this involves all the other primevals. This involves, Belial and all of them. What happens at the end of Diablo 3 is that you beat Diablo, and the Black Soul Stone is in the possession of the angels. And basically, you're the people who helped at the end of Diablo 3.
Right.
Which is Teriel and all of them. This puts a huge balance towards, or imbalance towards one side.
Which is the light.
Yeah. So I believe that Rathma is bringing his mother back to shift the balance back so that it's the same. So that everything is even.
Hmm.
Now, if that's going to happen, I don't know. Could end up being that Lilith basically betrays her own son for some reason, and is basically, no, I want power, that kind of thing. But manipulates him like she does with everybody else into saying, no, I'm going to go with you, it's fine, yes, we need to restore this balance, we need to help these humans, we need to help my children, that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be the Paladin and the Necromancer are the other two classes. And then the expansions will add more later.
Well, there you go. We figured it out.
That's my predictions to what the story of this game is.
Yep, I can dig it. I can totally get around that because that is their way.
That Rathma is bringing back Lilith to get balance back into the world. And whether Lilith wants to do that or not, it's Lilith. She's unpredictable and kind of does her own thing and manipulates everybody to get what she wants. But she does love her children dearly. So.
Mm-hmm. And looking at that one particular picture that you posted, looking at it in the trailer, down below in his abdomen region, kind of looks like it could be, and it's all in leather, but it looks like some type of bone armor. So it just reinforces even more that that's who this is.
Yep.
And he is tall.
Oh, yeah. Because it's either going to be the Paladin and the Necromancer, or the other thought is that the Necromancers are going to be an opposing force in this game to you.
And
it's going to be the Paladin and the Assassins. Because that is also light and dark. To some extent.
Yeah.
Technically, it's light and dark because it's an assassin, and they do shady things because they're assassins. But you know what I mean.
And we've talked, and I bring that up every single time. they were that whole sect was created to hunt down, and they just went away. Like we never heard anything else from Natalia. That was it. I mean, that was the deuced out.
And if they want to pull influence from the older game, that would be where you would hook it. Is you would want to bring Natalia back for some reason.
Yeah. Or someone that was passed down if it's after her time.
Now, Natalia did go on to found the Demon Hunters. This is lore. She is the one that founded the Demon Hunters.
Mm-hmm. True.
So, she used to be an assassin, and then she became a Demon Hunter. Because it's in a lot of the Diablo 3 items where it talks about her and the self-crusade that she led to slay demons, basically. So, technically, she is the first Demon Hunter. Like, as a class type of thing.
Hmm. Yep. Man, I don't know. This is. See how deep we've gotten into this? I wonder if anybody else right now has gone this far as to break it down and figure out who all these people are. Because you would think that if they did, they would have posted it in that big old long report. Because gameplay and everything and what they're going to do with the game is one thing, but putting all the pieces together to see how the story fits has always been a big part of the Diablo franchise. Always.
Yep. It's just so to me, what this seems like is if they pull it off, this is what Diablo 3 should have been.
Hmm.
If they make this good, in a really good game, now it's not going to be Diablo 3 because, like I said, it's taking decades after 3. So Cain is dead, canon, still.
And the
He's
dude that
going
was
to be dead.
And the dude that was standing over, I mean, even in the beginning, they showed the tombstone outside of Tristram. So, which I'm showing right here, that has to be the grave of Cain.
I'm trying to think. I wonder if that could be anyone from Diablo 1. From Tristram.
Hmm.
Maybe the healer dude? I forget what his name is. What ails you, my friend? That guy.
Yeah.
Because it's not Griswold. Griswold's fucking dead. He's a zombie. You kill him in Diablo 2.
Right.
We know it's not Wirt, because Wirt's probably fucking dead, because you get his leg.
Right.
We don't know what happened with the healer guy, and we don't know what happened with basically anyone else except Adria, because Adria is the villain in 3. She's one of the main villains in 3. Because you fight her and kill her, so...
I don't know. That's the only one that I can think of is it would be Cain. Because, he says, he calls him brother. And let's see, if he was part of the Herodrum, then the old guy that's actually talking to the tombstone about his dreams that he's having is also a
just had a
Herodrum.
weird thought. What if it's Marius? How weird would that be?
What are you talking about in the old guy?
Yeah.
Ha! And they just Marius. Wow. God, yeah, I mean
It's not the same. It's not the same voice actor, so I don't think so.
No.
Because the voice of Marius is Marius's voice actor is very unique.
Yeah, very gruff. Almost like
east, always east.
Yeah, he's got that J.G. Hetzler or Hertzler or whatever you call it voice, the General Martok voice. Very distinctive. Nobody else has that voice.
Take a good yonder look at this dude.
Well, that's kind of like what I was trying to get to here. Let's go back. Let me go back over here.
He's in the gameplay trailer at the very
Yeah, that's what I would need to look up.
Okay, so
Gameplay.
it opened. The trailer opens on some. Is it snowing? Yeah, it's snowing.
All right, here we go.
It's some sort of farmland. Because it's snowing. There's a big ass tree.
Yeah, there's a big tree.
That's not where Cain was buried.
No. But in the other one, there was none of that. So it's kind of.
Because this dude's standing right outside of where that is.
But it doesn't start that trailer around that tombstone though, does it?
He's standing underneath a tree.
Yeah. He's got a big ass slash down his ear too. You see that? Like he's been injured for sure. So he's a fighter. He's or a victim of circumstance. I don't know which. Let's see. Let's go forward. We've seen all that. I want to go back to where he Yeah, here we go. Down here. All right. All right, so let's look at his cloak and his medallion and everything else that they. Let's break it down. He's got on. I don't recognize the symbol that holds his cloak together because their medallions always mean something. All right, so right here, I mean, he's dressed in blue, trimmed in red, fingerless gloves.
I have the playback slowed down.
And his I mean, if you want to throw it out there, his eyes are blue. If that matters. He's got a scar above his eyebrow. Let's go half speed on this. I'm like you. I want to see if I can catch this. Not necessarily. Oh wait, what is that? Wait, who was that?
So he mentions hatred and terror and destruction.
So that's the three prime evils. See, this is a different gravesite than in the other trailer. Also, that's not the same tombstone where he's out under the tree. And there's something draped over the left side of this tombstone. I don't know if it's a scroll or a belt or a piece of... I don't know what significance that has. And he's on bended knees, so whoever it is, he's got utmost respect for him. As he's sitting there drinking and talking to him about his dreams that he's having.
So yeah, if you listen to what he says...
Which I'm not. I have it muted. I'm trying to not hashtag TOS this. Fair use, baby. Fair use.
Oh, you can fucking... You can watch it.
You know how they do me, though, man. I have 3 seconds of a song. Copyright! You would think Blizzard would want the the publicity these days. They're probably all for it. And look, oh, here's something interesting. Check this shit out. I just now noticed. In the image of Lilith in the gameplay trailer, directly above her forehead in the horn region, there is a soul stone. Yes.
What color is it?
Red. Trimmed in gold. Yep. It's like I don't know if you're looking at GameSpots, but it's at 243.
That's Diablo's.
Yep, that is Diablo Soulstone.
Diablo's is red. Mephisto's is yellow, and Bale's is yeah, Bale's is yellow. Mephisto's is blue.
And Diablo's is red. So that would explain why she has her head the way her head is.
Now, does she have any obvious yellow on her in her art that's not her clothes? Because she has a blue eye and she has a red gem.
Mm. I mean, it's like a very quick splash of her.
Well, I mean, there is the official art, so.
All right, we'll have to go back over to that
Link.
then.
Is there any? Because I was gonna say, if her other eye was yellow, then she would be the 3. She would be the 3 primevals incarnate again.
Well, I mean, the only yellow that I see is in her armor.
Yeah, that's it. But it would need to be like a part of her, because it's the blue eye and the red on the horn, or the red on her head, embedded in her head.
I don't know, the medallion in her bust, you know, around her neck, but that's not really significant. I mean, it's not like it doesn't stand out as.
Because, yeah, like, whenever she comes out of the portal and she's all blood and everything, you can still see that blue eye.
Oh, in the actual trailer, you mean?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Heck yeah, let me look at that. Yeah, I didn't even think about looking at that. But in that, let's see, does she actually have the soul stone at this point? Because in the one, see, I don't see the soul stone in this trailer. I mean, obviously her head is kind of like, that's most definitely got to do with Diablo, because he's the only one that's got horns like that and always has. But I don't see. I don't see a soul stone. So does she acquire them later to gain power? Because once again, she's been in the void. And maybe she hasn't acquired the soul stones yet. Because both of her eyes in this one are the same color. Does Rathma possibly have the soul stones on him? Or are they going to go grab them? Who has the soul stones right now?
Because there's red, blue, yellow, and then there's the black soul stone, which is the one from Diablo 3.
Mm-hmm. And the only thing that we know is that, well, what happened to the Soul Stone when Marius removed it from Tal Rasha? It just released. That just released Mephisto, right?
No, you destroy it.
Mephisto. Okay, so you destroyed Mephisto's Soul Stone. That's right. That's right. I'm overthinking it. I'm just trying to think of what happened in between 2 and 3. So if that's the case, what color is his? Is his the yellow one or the blue one? Mephisto. Yeah.
His is blue.
His is the
Bale
blue
is
one.
the one that's yellow.
Okay. So Bale and Diablo.
They're the ones that haven't been destroyed. Wait.
I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Which ones are not destroyed right now?
No, they're all destroyed, technically. At the end of Diablo 2, not Lords of... Wait. At the end of Lord... There's a scene where it shows them... multiple soul stones being smashed on the Hellforge. And I can't remember where that's from. There's some thing that was like, we destroyed their soul stones, and then it shows a big hand going slam on the Hellforge.
And that's from the game? Why don't I remember that? I must have missed that one.
Oh, it's the ending cinematic to the Diablo 2, the original Diablo 2. it's the cinematic where Bale reveals himself to Marius, and then he burns the.
Well, that can't be right because if Bale reveals himself to Marius, then his soul stone still exists.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Diablo's and Mephisto's were destroyed, not Bale's.
Okay, so Bale's.
Because he's the one, Marius is the one that's holding on to Bale's. That's why when Bale shows up, he takes it from Marius. And then the opening Lord of Destruction cinematic, he's holding it while that barbarian's like, "Get out of here, you're not allowed to be here."
Oh, yeah.
He's
Okay.
basically holding it close to him and he's toying with it.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, my theory can still stand because Bale's soul stone was never destroyed. I don't even think it's destroyed at the end of.
No, that's what I was saying. I knew that there we did. I didn't know. I didn't remember about Diablo's, Mephisto's. Yeah, we did his at the Hellforge.
And the epilogue cinematic of the original Diablo 2 shows that Mephisto's gets destroyed with the Hellforge hammer, and then it shows Diablo's being destroyed with the hammer as well.
Okay.
And then Mario says, the only one that wasn't was Bale's, and he's holding it in his hand.
Huh. So Bale could technically be a thing.
That's what I'm thinking. So if she is borrowing the Soulstone power shards, or I'm assuming, from Diablo, which would be the thing in the top of her head, and if her blue eye is supposed to represent Mephisto,
yep, then Bale would automatically not be there because his still exists.
His is still intact.
Yes. So will they go or we go in search of Bale's soulstone? Good question. That would explain the red and the blue for sure. Damn, we're good. Figuring this out, baby. Yep, and that would explain why we're not seeing it. Wow. All right. Well, we don't even need to play the game. We're playing it right now. We figured it out. Now, did the
Trying to see. Listen to Terriel's speech after you beat Bale.
hold up? Back up. right here. Okay, here's something that I just now, check this out. Now I know you can't see this, but in that same trailer, all right, here's something I just found very interesting right here. It's a flash. I mean a flash image at 7:57. Clearly, it's either one of two things. All right. There is a person, an entity that is bound in chains. Okay. Now, the back image looks like it could be arcing wings like archangel wings, or is this bound image a reflection of Tal Rasha being bound in chains? Because you see an image.
I'm playing it at 0.25 right now. Hang on. I can tell you exactly who it is we may have just figured out. Oh, you want to know who that is?
I mean,
know who that is.
If you're looking
Anarius. That's fucking Anarius.
Is that Anarius?
He gets chained and
That's
bound,
right. Because he's a former angel. Mm-hmm. He's a former angel, isn't he?
Yep.
Yes, that's Anarius. We did it. We figured it out.
That's fucking Anarius.
So we were right in thinking about the original Sin Wars this whole time. Remember, you and I talked about this off stream and off. We were just talking amongst each other just on Discord bunches of times about this. And I always brought up the Sin Wars. I was like, if they do anything, that they should do it. That's what they would do, is bring back something to do with the Sin Wars. That's Anarius.
I'm going super slow through this part where she's coming out because it keeps showing those flashes of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that. 0.25. Okay, so I'm gonna start right there and just let it play. Whoa, that's even too fast. What the flip? Why is that so? But that's Anarius.
That looks like Anarius, yeah.
Yep, because he's got his hands bound behind. You got the archangel wings in the back. You don't really see who it is, but okay. Whoa, here we go. Here's another part right here. What is this?
I don't know what the second one is, and the third one just seems to be a picture or an image. There's one after that just seems to be a thing of just people strung up.
Let me back up. The second one, whenever it kind of clears up, the second one is kind of horny. No pun intended. Just that could be Baal. And the reason why I say it could be Baal, like his body or whatever, the leftovers of him, is the banner flags and the poles and different weaponry that you see, or talismans or whatever those things are that look like chain blades that are just kind of hanging on the banners back in the back, the pillars. That could be Baal, or it could be Diablo, because he has, spines and whatever else going on. Or it could be nothing. It could be none of them. But
that first one is 100% Anarius.
Uh-oh, we figured it out. All right, and then going back through here again. Well, she's popping through. One more flash. All right, comes back to this dude. See, that's the thing, man. Everything means something. Now so
I freeze framed it at the second one.
Yeah.
And there's dudes standing on either side of whatever the hell's in the middle.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, you can see like a cultist standing there.
Let me look. Let's see. Be right here.
Like you can very clearly see the one on the right more than the one on the left, but it is clearly a dude. So, and there's another dude in front of him. So there's people standing in front of something.
Wait, I think I went too far. That's one bad thing about going slow-mo, but... Alright, let's let it play.
I can't see. I'm gonna see if I can adjust the levels on this image and fuck with it.
Do like we did back when we figured out it was Diablo 3? Remember I went back and I actually looked at a recording I had my camera. That was back before screen capture. And I went back and actually looked at the recording of the webcam pointing at the TV and it transposed the image. I was like, what the hell? That's how I figured it out. I still have that's that old monitor right there. All right. All right, so the first dude is Inarius. All right, let's see the second splash. I want to see who you're talking about standing. But you see what I'm talking about with all the poles and all that sticking in the ground in the background?
Oh yeah, no, it becomes way clearer whenever I'm adjusting these levels, right? So.
All right. Oh, yeah, now I see him. This dude's got like a necklace. They're pointing towards us. Yeah. Okay. Oh, see if I can... They have the same pentagram that, what's his name, Rathma? They have the same chain that he has on him. So are those necromancers?
I'm thinking this is thinking the thing in the back, that big thing with the horns all over it.
Yeah.
I think that might be a statue of Rathma as a dragon.
Oh. Oh, yeah, could be. Okay. Yeah, because like if you were to adjust the level, well, matter of fact, now that you say that, looking at this, where I have it stopped, I could kind of agree with that because this looks like the outline of a skull right here, horns maybe, ears, I don't know, eye sockets, the mouth of a dragon, got long teeth, nostril holes here. Yeah, I can see it. That very well could be. And you see the things kind of pointing up like it could be, you know how dragons, their elbows have the spikes coming out of them. I bet you're right. That may be Rathma in dragon form. Yep, I think that's what it is. Looking over at the XSplit thing, it kind of looks a little different on this other monitor. That's exactly what that looks like. You're right, that's a dragon. Was Rathma ever like defeated by anybody to where that could have been him defeated as a dragon?
No.
Okay, so that's either...
I think this is a statue.
So that's either a statue or him in that form. One or the other.
Because if he's surrounded by a whole bunch of necromancers, then they're basically at a shrine of worship to him.
Okay.
And the reason why people say he looks like he's a dragon is because that's what his worshipers describe him as. That's the vision that he comes to them in dreams and stuff, is as a green flaming dragon.
Okay.
So I messed with the levels a bit more.
Yeah, that's definitely him now. I'm looking over at this other monitor. I got it like an older monitor, that doesn't have the nice adjustments. And when I look at it on XSplit, that's definitely a dragon. Absolutely, 100%. Now, whether it's got to be, I guess you like to say it's a statue, but it's a very, very detailed statue. But yeah, that's 100% a dragon. And these dudes that are standing here actually moving their hands, making some gesture. Especially this dude over here on the right, he's making some type of hand gestures.
So here is a black and white version of it. With the levels adjusted, you can see more stuff in the background too with this. So. Save it as a PNG. Alright, I'll post it in the channel.
There's some type of citadel on fire with the third one, though. I can't really. Doesn't really ring a bell. Whoops.
But yeah, there's a picture of the thing, black and white. Give it a bit more detail. You can see a bit more of the, like those spears and stuff in the background too.
Yeah, and definitely you can make out that is definitely a guy right there on the right. Yeah, that's most definitely a dragon. That's got to be Rathma.
Yep.
Yeah, because you could see way more detail in this image here than the red. Oh yeah, here's another dude. Yeah, you could actually make out this dude's face over here now on the left, and there's somebody standing in front of him. So apparently they are performing some type of ritual or
maybe
paying homage.
Back.
But
maybe
where did he
revive Rathma so that he could revive Lilith?
Because of the balance being swayed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. And here's just throwing this out there from Diablo 3. I'm just throwing this out there now. Maybe that's why they held off on releasing the Necromancer class so long.
It's possible.
Because why would you wait 9 years or 8 years or however long it was to release a class? And then all of a sudden, here we go, Rathma's a Necromancer. And now we're putting this together with this image. Just saying. But the third splash, so the first one we know is Inarius. The second one is Rathma. The third one is not really ringing any bells.
Is that Tristram?
Because I see a cathedral. You obviously see a tower in the back.
Yeah, that wouldn't be Tristram with
no.
a tower.
It's a tower in the back, so some type of... It's a cathedral.
Is it the Cathedral of Light? Because if it's the Cathedral of Light, that is where Inarius was.
And the one dude closest to us has long hair, if that matters.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I make this any better? Yeah, I can make it in 1080. Okay, that's a little clearer.
I mean, there's like a battle. What do you call them? Battlelith. I don't know, but like
To Photoshop we go.
it's some type of compound, whatever this is, whether it's a castle, a cathedral. Most definitely. There's people obviously up on poles, impaled and tied to it. This closest dude, he don't have any shoes on, got long hair. It might be a female. I don't know. But then there's a crusader or a knight looking dude, a warrior back here on this other pole. But this tower doesn't look, I mean, could that possibly be the cathedral that the rogues were at? Where Andariel is, possibly?
Trying to see.
What are they?
There's a fucking symbol in the. There's a round symbol
On the tower.
There's like it's like a glass window. You know?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to see if that's visible using the level adjustment.
And you see it in two different places. It's smack dab in the middle on some type of little building here, and then you see it again on, you know, clearly right above that flag on the tower. I mean, looking at it in one frame, it actually just looks like a clock. It just looks like a clock tower, but that wouldn't be Diablo specific. I don't remember any, you know, there's nobody talks about clocks or watches or anything in the game, like at all. So if it is, that's kind of out of place. But it's, you know, raised housing over here. It's quite obviously a wall. It's a walled-in compound, whatever it is. Unless there's a tower on this side, and then we're seeing a wall, and then there's a tower on this other side. There's structure here. I don't know. It doesn't look familiar. The only thing that this brings to me, being that it is walled in like this, tells me it's the cathedral out of Diablo 2. The first one that you go down and find in Andariel. That's what that is making me imagine. Which would make sense.
Yeah, there's nothing that's like immediately sticking out and adjusting these things besides that there's the window on the right, the circular window on the right, and then there's the circular window on the thing that looks like it has a big tower.
Right.
Which the thing on the left, the big tower, looks like it's been burnt to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks warped and destroyed.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't look familiar. But that's the only thing that I could come up with. That's all I got. It looks like the cathedral. The one that got corrupted by Andariel. Or was it Blood Raven? Which one corrupted the rogues?
Andariel corrupted Blood Raven.
You know, and that's another thing. Are those arrows that we see sticking out of these people? Could be Blood Raven. Or even the Countess. Because remember, her castle had gone into ruins down to the one tower.
It's so close to being able to be seen as to what the fuck that is, but at the same time it's not, just because of the quality of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's not ringing any bell. There's 3 circles actually. There's one on the left, one in the middle, one on the right. The one on the far right looks like a cylindrical tower. That's what it looks like to me. Now, I don't know. It could be either one. But there's definitely, looking over here on the XSplit image, which is, I don't know why it's more clear over here on this old-ass monitor, but there's most definitely 3 circles. I don't know if you see what I'm seeing. Right below the triangle flag on the right, there's a little circular-looking tower, and there is a definite circular symbol in that tower. It's smaller than the other ones. It's like small, medium, large, going from right to left. Kind of bounces down, kind of like a little V shape, if you look at all 3 of them, point to point. And I'm also trying to think of what would have gotten burnt up like that.
Yeah.
And the farther back you go, there's more and more bodies up on poles too, down at the bottom left. And just like before, I'm kind of wondering what this is all the way to the far right. Because, like in the one where we just figured out that was Rathma, the statue with the necromancers in front of it, until you cleared it up on the one side, I didn't even notice that was a person. I wasn't seeing it. I saw the one on the right. But this image here is really, really close. It's obviously not I may be wrong, but it doesn't look like it could be anybody. But it's almost like you're looking around something out into this destruction.
Alright, so I managed to get the thing in the tower as clear as I can possibly get it, and I still don't know what this is.
Alright.
Everything else is going to look really dark, but then you're going to notice that whatever the fuck it is very clear.
All right.
It's some shape, basically.
It's some shape.
It looks like a duck to me.
All right, I'll bring it up and we'll see. I'm gonna have to go back and make after this one. This will be a long. I'll make a singular video about this, kind of recapping what we were talking about after we're done with this, and we'll
You're not gonna be able to see much else, but there it is. I did it mainly just to try and get that symbol in the tower as clear as possible. It literally looks like a duck to me.
Yeah. That's what it kind of does look like a duck. But with the dots all the way around it, I'm going with the clock.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. I don't know why. There's never been a clock in Diablo that I'm aware of, but... And then the other 2 circles kind of go away, but, yeah. It looks like I think it's a clock. I don't think it has any significance. Yeah. The town itself, or castle, or the cathedral compound... itself has something to do with it. There's no image that we could put to it saying that's...
Because it's not Tristram.
No.
There's no way it's Tristram.
The only other thing
Tristram's not that walled off.
No. There's nothing in Luke Ghislaine. There's nothing in the Flare Jungle. Not even up to the Durance. There's nothing in... what is after that? Luke Ghislaine doesn't have anything like that. The only thing that it would be any significance to that we're familiar with is the cathedral.
Yeah.
The one on the way to Andariel. That's it. That's the only thing I think of. Act 4 obviously isn't it, because that's the Pandemonium Fortress.
Could this be...
And that's a neutral ground, so that's the separation from heaven and hell, so that couldn't be it.
So would this be the outer cloister?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the name I was thinking about. This could be the outer cloister. That's the cathedral I was talking about when I said cathedral. The outer cloister is what this could be. Because it's the only place I know that's walled off like that had any type of tall structure to it. I bet you that's what it is.
More than likely. Because that's where you go fight Andariel.
Yes. And Andariel may or may not have anything to do with D4, but she is a lesser evil, and she did have a lot to do with protecting the path of Baal. Going to the east, trying to hold the Haradrim back from catching up. That was her whole purpose, was to slow up the Haradrim, if not defeat them, while he traveled east. So that's what I'm thinking this is.
So the first one's Anarius.
First one's Anarius. Yep.
Because there's literally artwork drawn of him being chained up.
Yes.
Second one is got to be Rathma as a dragon.
Rathma as a dragon.
Okay. It's not Rathma as a dragon. It is Rathma's followers.
Ah, yeah,
Rathma's
Rathma's
statue of him, which is depicted as a dragon.
Yes, as they see him. And the third one we're theorizing is the outer cloister.
Yeah, the outer cloister.
You heard it here first, everybody. We figured it out. Breaking it down. You're not going to find any information like this at BlizzCon. And you got the D2 King and the Baba King, the ruler of all barbarians. All right, what else? Are there any other images that were... Because the thing is, and I keep on saying this, I know this, I'm beating a dead horse, but they kept on saying it, threes. So you're going to see 3 images and 3 sacrifices, etc. and so forth. And that's all I see is the 3 splash images before she actually comes out of the blood sacrifice. Because like right after he sees that last image, her hand pops out first. Like she's reaching out of the void. And then you see this dude one more time. Let's see if there's another splash. Nope. And then you see Rathma reach up to grab her hand, and she reaches down. And I guess at that point the dude dies. That's watching and done the summoning. He's drawing his last breath. And he just turns into a pool of blood. Yep, that's where he dies. And the blood almost turns into rose petals.
That's it's like the fleshy shit that ends up being the drape on her back.
Yeah. There's gigantic platelets.
Yeah.
And her skin's almost translucent.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it is translucent. It's not almost, it is translucent. So, a fresh flesh body, obviously. Where have I seen that from? I've seen that like in a movie before where that was done like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's familiar. All right. Oh, she's even got a heart.
Yep.
I'm just not noticing that. And it's beating. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah, she's literally got a heart that's beating through that translucent skin.
Okay, so I have it paused at 2 minutes and 23 seconds. And there's this picture of three circles. Each one has a rune in it.
Or which one? How many minutes? I'm looking at her drape right now to see if I can find anything in it.
2 minutes and 23 seconds. It's basically a picture of that says that.
Yeah.
That tells him that they need blood.
Yeah, I see it.
There's 3 different runes in it.
Yeah, I see them.
So I bet if we can figure out what the fuck those runes are, we can figure out who the fuck the 3 are.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna assume
that
it is Lilith, Andariel, and Rathma. Or Lilith, Inarius, and Rathma. I'm gonna assume.
Well, the one on the left is resembling a dragon without legs, of course, or wings or anything, but you can see, like, the one on the left looks like it could be a dragon rune. It could be representative of it. The one in the middle has a couple of spiky things coming out of it here and there. And the one on the right...
The one on the right looks like it's somebody bowing.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Yeah. It looks like...
I've never seen these 3 runes before, ever.
No.
They're not familiar.
No. Those are definitely new, but that's what that looks like. So, you could have the dragon, which is Rathma on the left. You could have, I would assume, Lilith in the middle. Because if you look at her nails on her feet and her hands, they're all kind of pointed. Not, you know, not that this rune would be anything, but I mean, if we're piecing things together, and we've been pretty good at it so far, that could be representative of her. And then the dude on the right, being that it is a fallen angel, did humanity ever worship the angels or heaven?
Well, they worshipped Inarius, for sure.
Well, there you go. So that could be representative of Inarius' followers.
Inarius basically, before Lilith and before they separated, was like, no, Inarius was like, they will honor me as their god because I'm their father.
Yep, that could be what that represents right there. So there's your 3.
It lingers on it for so long.
Well, the image, if we look aside of that, if you look at the actual image or whatever, whatever that tribal looking thing is that's below it, looks like it could be a figure of Lilith. Like Uber Andariel from Diablo 2. Because she had all those spiked wing looking things coming out of her. That was her melee attack. I don't know how far back it's gonna go, but then when it changes,
Since it could actually be more of just this is the door, you need to sacrifice 3 people, and it will lead you to Lilith, if that's the case, because that big image, that big symbol on the bottom that you said looks like Lilith, that's what it could be.
that could be her.
3 willing.
Yeah, 3 willing
things,
people.
because they're not inside of the room yet. Right here, this
No.
is the door to get open to the room that has the summoning portal in it.
Right. And then if you go to the actual where the blood starts to pool up in the image of the hand. See, none of these runes or markings look familiar, like at all. None of them.
Oh, I also didn't notice that whenever they put their hands down to offer the blood, there's a nail. There's like a spike.
Yeah, there's a spike.
Of the handprint.
Yeah, I kind of, when I would first watch it, I was like, that'd be the only way that they could get the blood to come out. But yeah. The only thing is that gets me about that part is the fact of how fast they bleed out. I was like, if a nail makes you bleed that much, dude, yeah. Because it's like literally filling up the channel and splitting off into the other place. And well, let's see if the 3 symbols... Oh, that's interesting, too. I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but where the blood does split off.
But yeah, I think that's a pretty estimated guess of what the story is going to be about.
Let's see if it shows it.
Rathma's bringing his mother back so that he can try and restore balance back to everything after the events of Diablo 2 and 3.
Spike. All right, I want to look at the three channels. All have different shapes too, I think. Because the Seeker of Knowledge, looks like a sword. The other two, unless I'm missing something in it going by, theirs don't look like a sword. And then you have a little...
Wait, what? Hang on. Does your fucking mic do the thing again? Because I can't hear you anymore.
Hello? You can't hear me?
Me.
I'll check and see. I'll check and see if it's me.
What?
Hello?
No, hang on. I think it's on my end this time.
Yeah, because mine still says the same. Ha! I just now noticed something too. When they're running under the door, I shit you not. You know the Monster Energy drink symbol? The Monster Energy, which technically is the mark of the beast. The 3. or the mocking of the Trinity or whatever, at 3:05. If you look at the bottom right of that door, it's the same as the Monster Energy drink symbol. It's the same symbol that you would see for the mocking of the Trinity. Now, that's not official or anything. That's just what I've been told in the past. So anybody watching, that's the thing. But that's what that symbol is representative of that I've heard and read and whatever.
That's weird.
Can you still not hear me?
No, I can hear you. So I'm watching back to whenever they're asking him, what the fuck does the shit say on the wall in the summoning area?
Yeah.
It says, hail the creator, hail the daughter of, and then it stops.
Yes. Yes.
Lilith is not a daughter of anyone.
Yes, she is. Lilith is the daughter of Mephisto. Remember?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. She's her, and remember it's Lucian. Lucian and her are the brother and sister and son and daughter of Mephisto. See, it all gets confusing because there's so much to ooh, man, it's so much. It's awesome though. You know, there's an Eld rune symbol on that floor panel. I don't know if you had pointed that out to me before.
I think I did.
Yeah, that's an Eld rune. There's
you can tell.
There's the pie symbol.
Watching it back now, you can tell it's Rathma because he brings that dude back from dead, from getting killed.
Yeah.
Before he turns into Rathma.
The little symbols. No, I don't recognize that. Well, I don't know. You know, looking at this floor thing, you got the little circles and the big circles with the rune carvings in them. The little circles could be representative of the old runes and the big ones of the new runes. But there's only 2 of them. 2 little ones. Huh, that's weird. And here's those symbols again on this pillar. So that symbol shows up multiple times. Wherever he throws the guy up against the pillar and it shows him laying on the ground. On either side, though, it looks like dudes bowing. And in the middle, it looks like it could be Diablo's skull. Down in the bottom. I don't know. They're different, but there's still 3 symbols in the same position.
This furthers my theory about them wanting to bring darkness back to rebalance everything, because he said
he tells
the monk dude, or the dude that ends up, saying the words. He says, there is no light here. You saw the darkness for answers. Basically.
Yeah, you came to the darkness for knowledge.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Hail the Creator.
Hail the daughter.
You can almost pull out where he's going to say Mephisto.
No.
What about the coin? What's it say?
Hail.
This is forbidden. This is a summoning. I cannot speak.
Don't lie to me! We came here for treasure.
Huh.
What is this?
You know, we're gonna be breaking this trailer down, all this stuff. Even though we say, "Oh, we don't care about that, Rory," we're gonna break it all down. We done figured out so much tonight. It ain't even. It's awesome.
I mean, I care more about the lore than anything at this point.
Yeah. That's the same thing with me right now. Too. I mean, because it's gonna be years before we get the game. It's just so awesome to be able to go through and look at these, you know, take these screenshots and look at the images and enhance them and figure out, you know, who all the characters are already. Because nobody, I'm really honestly surprised that nobody came out and said, that's that person, that's that person. You know how though, man, I got to be first at everything. But you and I actually sat back and analyzed it and looked at each one. It's awesome. Still, that third one, I'm telling you, that's the Citadel. That's got to have something to do with Andariel. But I don't think it necessarily has. Well, no. I mean, the third one could be representative of when Lilith actually destroyed the people that were sent after her by Lucian. Or not after her necessarily, but by going after, what's his name? The farmer. Odysseus. Odyssean. That could be whenever they were after trying to kill Odyssean, and Lilith, like, pretty much destroyed the entire campaign, and Lucian's, I forget what that dude's name is, his lieutenant, basically. He gave him a demon limb to show Odyssean, or bring out Lilith's true form, true demon form, because she was posing as the human. And she killed that dude too. So that could be what that battle is. I don't know. Or it could be representative of Diablo 2. After or before or whatever. I'm telling you, that's the outer cloister though. It's got to be.
It might. Chained up dude might actually be Talrasha. Actually.
Well, that's what
Well, it's because of what he's saying. He says, "Hail the daughter of hatred." Mephisto, and whenever he says that, it does the person chained up.
Well, that's what I first thought of was Talrasha, but when you said it was the other dude, now the names are all mixing up, but it kind of makes sense that it would be the fallen angel.
Talrasha is holding in Mephisto, and Mephisto is her father.
Yeah, but so
hail the daughter of hatred.
So if these are representative of flashbacks, then,
or they're basically representative of what he's saying as it's happening.
Right, but they show his eyes, so he's seeing these flashes as he's saying it. Remember, he said he came there for knowledge, and as he speaks the words, it's forbidden knowledge. It's not just a summoning. You know, Rathma we absolutely know for a fact that that's Rathma, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's on the Diablo wiki.
That's there. Rathma. All right, that is Rathma. So whenever he tells the Seeker of Knowledge to speak the words, because apparently he can't speak the words for whatever reason. There's another thing within itself as to why Rathma cannot speak the words to bring his mother back. Because it says by three.
Let me see what he says real quick on this second part, because he says something about a creator. What does he say? Okay, whenever he says creator, it does that flash to the dragon thing, or the thing that we think is a dragon. But that doesn't make any sense with it being the... Rathma didn't create Sanctuary.
We call thee home.
So what it is... It's some kind of horned thing, though.
Call thee, they come.
Wait, this...
By three,
I mean, he starts off speaking the words, "By three they come."
By three, thy way opens.
By three thy way opens.
By the blood of the
And
willing,
By the
by three
blood
way
of the
open.
willing.
we call
Yeah.
thee.
That's the ceremony to summon her. Is that part?
And we call thee home. So they're calling her from the void. Rathma couldn't speak those words because I guess they have to give themselves up willingly, blood sacrifice, to bring her out of the void. He can't sacrifice himself because he's a Nephilim. Oh wait, let's go here.
Because yeah, what he's saying when it does the flashes is related to the flashes. So he says creator, and then it shows that weird dragon-looking thing, and then he says of sanctuary, and then a little bit after that it shows the third thing.
Daughter of Hatred shows the splash. So are we looking at... What's his
I
name?
think we're looking at Talrasha.
Okay, so we are... So my first initial thought was correct at that being... Because I saw the angelic wings in the back. The dude all chained up. So that's a flashback, is what that is. That's what I'm getting at.
Creator.
And then whenever it says the creator, we get the splash image of that dragon-looking thing. But who? What did you theorize about the creator?
Well, let me see real quick. Who is he?
I mean, the only other thing that it could be is Diablo.
No, no, hang on. I wonder if it's Tothamet. Because Tothamet is the second being to exist in creation, the counterpart to Anu, who's the first being to exist. Tothamet is all of Anu's evil that he cast out of himself.
Which we've never heard of before. I don't know why that would... I mean, I get it.
He is a seven-headed dragon.
Well, there ain't 7 heads on this one. There's 1 head. So that can't be him.
I mean, he is one of the most important... I guess, apparently, he's one of the most important... he led to the birth of the burning hells. That's what this is saying. Title: The Dragon, the Prime Evil, the Beast. He is the originator.
So he is... Okay, so he is the creator of the primevals. So I guess...
He is the primeval, so...
What's his name again?
It is... Tothamet.
Tothamet.
Tathamet.
Tothamet.
Met with an M.
Tothamet. Tothamet.
It's T-A-T-H, so Toth.
Toth.
Then there's an A.
A. Toth A.
M-E-T.
Tothamet. Okay, Tothamet. Gotcha. But, okay, I guess that could be representative of him there, just not with 7 heads? I guess that would be too much for a statue. I don't know.
There is an ancient... This is a quote from Turiel. It is the sum total of all 7 evils housed in one body. There is an ancient legend known only to a few of the great dragon, Tothamet. It was the original embodiment of evil. The legend says that he was ripped apart during an epic battle with Anu, and that the burning hells are composed of his remains.
Okay. Well, that would be important. Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. So we got to rewind everything that we just talked about an hour ago. And it's all theory. We don't know this 100%. Either one could be right. So it's not like it could be wrong or right. We're just throwing ideas out there. So it's got to be one of the two, though. But the first thing I thought about whenever I saw the wings and the chains was Tal Rasha. Until you said it could be Inarius because of what they did to Inarius.
Okay, so I'm looking at the wiki entry for Diablo 4. And this is what they have so far. After the destruction of the Black Soulstone, this is their plot summary.
Yeah.
The defeat of the Primeval and the fall of Mathael, Angel of Death, which was Reaper Souls. Countless lives have been lost, and the denizens of Sanctuary find themselves struggling through the darkest of ages. Years have passed, and as some semblance of a regular life starts rebuilding, a threat as old as the land itself begins to stir. It says, Diablo 4 takes place many years after the events of Diablo 3, after millions have been slaughtered by the actions of the high heavens and the burning hells alike, and in the power vacuum, a legendary name resurfaces. Lilith, daughter of Mephisto, the whispered progenitor of humanity, her grip on Sanctuary cuts deep into the hearts of men and women alike.
Well, wait a minute. Stop right there. What did he say in his words? Hold that thought right there on that sentence. He said, "Hail the Creator." Technically, with that sentence that you just read right there, that could be referring to Lilith herself, not to another Thothmet, or what his name is. Thothmet.
Cuts deep into the men and women alike, cultivating the worst in its denizens and leaving the world a dark, hopeless place. An old legend has it that Sanctuary was created by the union of an angel and a demon. That their descendants, humanity, built villages and cities and empires spreading across the land from worlds. Cam's Cretin. Chaos threatens to consume Sanctuary as evil and empathy continue to spread. Depraved demons and corrupted wildlife roam the land unchecked. Let's see. Just reading up on what they have posted so far.
Yeah. I guess the rest of it, we're just kind of wait for the next couple of days for people to get done with their pressers and their little gameplay. Only other thing we can do. All right, so one of two things. Thothmet is the second one. Or let's see. Let's go. What we first theorized was, first it could be Inarius. Second one. The second.
Oh,
the first one could be Inarius. The second one could be Rathma. And the third one could be the Outer Cloister. For whatever reason, could represent Andariel or Lilith from what she created as far as Sanctuary for humanity. Or it could be Tal Rasha, Thothmet, and once again, the third one, I'm still sticking with the Outer Cloister for whatever reason.
It's either like the outer cloister, or it's just the representation of sanctuary itself.
Or sanctuary itself burning because of the other two. Daughter of Hatred, it could be, they definitely, when they splash to it, it could be either one. Why they would show Inarius and not Tal Rasha is kind of weird, but I don't know. And then the second one, like, is most definitely a dragon of some sort, or some type of very dragon-looking demon. It could be either Rathma, as the necromancers see him. It could be Thothomet, or it could be like the corpse of Diablo. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
Because down below in that image that you have, you clearly see, like, I don't know if that's ropes or chains or vines or something hanging below whatever that is. Like there's drapes of things, like if they actually may be carrying it. So it could be a statue or it could be a corpse. Like they could be.
It's really hard to say.
Yeah. Because there's nobody behind it, so I don't know if they would be like, it would be up on, I don't know, something to dragging it on or whatever. But anyway. That's
so
not.
For right now, that plot idea that I had, I think still holds true. That Rathma wanted to bring his mother back to try and bring balance back to Sanctuary. But those visions we saw, I think now are... The first one is Tal Rasha, simply because of what the dude is saying as he's saying the forbidden words or whatever.
Right.
Tal Rasha, whatever the creator is, and I think the third one represents Sanctuary as a whole.
Okay.
Now that could also include the cloister, because the cloister is in Sanctuary, so...
Yeah. Well, and I can agree with that.
Yeah.
It's just the second image.
The second image is the most confusing.
Yeah.
Because it can be so much, because it's just like a big thing. A big thing with horns and spikes.
Right. Which
So
could be
it's
representative of three different characters. We don't know. Rathma, Diablo, or Thothomet.
So yeah.
There you go. Yep. Well, you want to leave it there? You want to end it?
Yeah, because it's like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. This is going on for 3 hours and 37 minutes already. But hey, you know, it's awesome to I don't know, be compelled to talk about Diablo again.
I may not like... look, the game might be poop.
But the
It
lore.
It might end up sucking. But it at least lets us talk about Diablo.
Yes.
It has lore.
Yeah.
No.
And it makes us study back and look at different things. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I love about any games, really. I love the lore part of it. Not just the PvP, not just the gameplay, which gameplay is important, but whatever.
So yeah, we can at least go back and, you know, get to talk about this and the whole, everything that is involved with Diablo, so. But, at the very least, it does seem like they're starting to pull shit out from the books. Which is what I've been wanting them to do since Diablo 2.
Yes. The Sin Wars are important, and it looks like we may see some of that in this.
We may actually get some more information about Odyssean, and maybe how the barbarians and the druids were formed, and like, you know.
Who knows? We might even see Odyssean in the Diablo 4.
That'd be some fucking shit.
Woo, wouldn't it? Yes,
'Cause
indeed.
Odyssean in the books has always been represented as just like this perfect human figure. He's a bald, perfect figure, basically. He doesn't have any hair on his head. He's like this very toned, basically the definition of what a human male, like a very fit human male should be.
Yeah.
That's what he is. That's his depiction in all 3 of the books, the illustration. So, technically nobody even knows what Odyssean looked like, so...
That could be Odyssean right there. Bald-headed.
Yep.
That could be him. Brought back by the necromancers to bring back Lilith. I don't know. Because, I mean, wait. Would she be Odyssean's... Wait. Yeah, would she be Odyssean's mother?
Technically.
Technically. So
Very, very, very distant. Because the thing about Lilith is that so Lilith is the queen of succubi. She has a very strange influence on the humans in the books and in everything else. She basically brings out humans' raw potential and emotions
Hmm.
and their desires. So she's very scary in that regard,
Yeah.
and people will rally behind her because she is Lilith. She's their mother technically, so she has influence over pretty much every single person in Sanctuary if she really wants to and is powerful enough.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see.
All right.
What I would like and what I would think would be very interesting and would be awesome is that if you never fight her, and if it is in fact that you basically talk to her and you get to understand her as a character, have conversations about the lore and everything around with her or something. That she's basically like, I'm not going to kill you. You're one of my children.
What if she takes like a role like Deckard Cain did?
So that'd be interesting.
You know?
I would like them to do something different with it.
Yeah.
They have the potential to make the story very unique and different.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, it wouldn't have to even be her. They could have Rathma be the one that talks to you.
Right.
And have him be the one like, this is my reasoning. This is the logic I went through in order to summon her.
Right.
Because the world's been in shit, and she's my mother, and she's the one that loves all her children. And you just have this conversation with him, and you just talk to him about why he did it and what he did it for. Like, he's not hostile to you in any way, and it's this interesting dynamic where it just flips it on its head.
Right.
Where you see him in a Diablo trailer, and you think, oh, we get to kill him. But no, you don't get to kill him. You get to talk to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I would totally be down with that.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, one person we haven't even mentioned, but just very briefly, is what's Tyrael's role going to be in all this?
Yeah. Because we don't know what happened. Apparently, they destroyed the Soul Stone, and it's just been many years later.
And here's something I don't remember. Did Tyrael actually get his Archangel status back?
He did not.
He did not.
Never did.
So, I didn't think he did. I just want to make sure before I said what I was going to say. So, Tyrael, if he's still alive after all of this, I don't know. I'm just...
The other aspect of it, no, a bunch of this stuff that got just left and didn't get addressed in Diablo 3 is what the fuck is going to happen with Imperius. Because Imperius was struck and corrupted by Diablo. He had this huge gash in his chest. And you could tell that it was affecting him and it was making him all fucked up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Especially right towards the end of the game. He was getting like really... something wasn't right with him, but they never addressed it. They never talked about it.
And there's so many loose ends in Diablo 3, it's not even funny. That's a whole nother day of conversation in itself, picking that apart.
Like where the fuck is Leia?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you know?
they destroyed the Soul Stone. Doesn't say that she died.
Right.
So where is she at?
She just kind of goes away.
Yep.
Just like Cain. I don't know.
If
man.
it's one of those things where they're trying to basically distance themselves from D3 as far as they possibly can, story-wise, maybe that might be for the better.
I think it would be, actually.
They could find a way to bring Cain back. And if they brought Cain back, that's a big deal.
Haha. Wouldn't it be, though? Oh, my gosh. Because, I mean, yeah. But just the fact that there's no mention of it, it hasn't been a thought process of bringing up people like that tonight in our conversation, especially Tyrael, because Tyrael's been there since like the beginning, like since the very beginning of it. I don't know.
Currently, Mathael's dead. Tyrael's not an angel anymore.
No.
So you have all the, I think there's like 4 angels left, maybe 3. that are having to control the high heavens after it got all fucked up from all the demons invading.
Yeah.
So, and it's been many, many years. So what the fuck happened there?
Right, exactly.
What the fuck is happening in the burning hells right now? Because we killed Asmodan, we killed fucking Belial, we killed Sadia, we killed all of those.
All of them.
The lesser evils, they're all fucking dead. We
Yep.
killed Iswal again.
Mm-hmm. He's a lesser evil.
Yeah, so what the fuck is happening down there?
Yep. And there was like literally, other than Diablo, there was no mention of Mephisto. There was no mention of Baal.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that those two, and of course those three actually, are gonna have. Well, maybe not necessarily Mephisto. I think Mephisto's done, but Baal is most definitely still.
His soulstone was never.
The soulstone was never addressed. Nope.
They never talked about it at the end of the Lord of Destruction cutscene. It was never shown or mentioned.
Nope.
The speech that Tyrael gives is like, look, I need to destroy this fucking world stone. Otherwise, it's going to let all the demons in. And they're just going to ruin everything.
Right.
So I need to get rid of this. So that's why he did it.
And that's how it ends.
It's to save humanity.
Mm-hmm. And that's how it ends. Right there. No mention of it. And since we know he had it, because now that I think about it, thinking about the trailer, he was actually playing with it or toying with it. Maybe he hid it away.
It's possible.
Sent one of his most trusted lieutenants away with his own soulstone to hide it where nor the heaven nor hell's realm would find it until whoever he sent it with tells the secret of how to bring it back or whatever.
It could be one of her main motivations in the game, is that she's looking for his soulstone.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find it. She has pieces of the other two in her.
I mean, it's like obvious. It's obvious.
The blue eye.
The blue eye and
red on the head.
And the Diablo's always in the forehead.
Yep.
So that's a most definite thing. So I don't know. We're gonna see.
Yep. But I guess we better stop it here because I need to go lay down. It's very late.
Yeah, me too. I gotta work tomorrow. I was supposed to be doing not this long of a podcast, vidcast, or whatever. But I'm gonna post it up raw, just like this. What do you think, GunToad?
I mean, you might as well.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I hope I get surprised by Diablo 4.
Yeah. I hope we get a lot more information this week too.
Yeah, I love the game's lore and everything to death. It's one of my favorite settings. We'll see what happens in 2 weeks at ExileCon. 4.0 sounds way more exciting than what they showed of Diablo 4.
Yeah.
So we'll just see. I mean, I guess you could call this the ARPG podcast because we talked about pretty much. I mean, technically, Destiny 2 is also an action RPG. Technically.
Well, we got back on track after all that, so I'll just notate that in the description. I'll find those spots and notate them. I'm not gonna get this up until tomorrow or the next day anyway. And yeah, I was gonna touch on that briefly at the tail end of here. If you're at the end of this and you're this far in, understand that this entire video was just us wanting to. We've been wanting to do this since. Oh God, how many months? Probably for the past year now, since the last BlizzCon, when they were supposed to be announcing it, is we have been theorizing and coming up with ideas and what we would want to see, what characters we would want to see, and pretty much tonight we have come up and theorized, different scenarios. We thought we had things figured out, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute, what if it's this? And then we thought we had it figured out again. It's just all theory. It's all what we are interpreting this as, and until we get it 100% written in stone, it's just our take on the lore. But we did figure out something that we haven't seen anybody post up until tonight, which is the same day as BlizzCon. It was 11/1, now it's 11/2. We've gone into 2 different days here on this vidcast. which is it's got to do with Rathma. So the rest of it in there is just our theories. If we got anything wrong, that's all it is. We're just talking about Diablo lore all the way back from Diablo 1 all the way up till present, and we talked about other RPGs, action RPGs. All right, that's it. So I'm in it there. It's a craft of the mind. Everybody go out there and have some fun. Good fight. Good night. Say goodbye.
You stayed a while and you did listen.
Yeah, you stayed a while. Yeah. I guess I should have started that out like that, huh?
Yeah, that's fine.